It's been a long time coming. They ain't cuffing my cloth, they tugging it. Putting up numbers, 99 problems, and I still kept it 100. Yeah, it's been a long time coming. They ain't cuffing my cloth, they tugging it. Putting up numbers, 99 problems, and I still kept it 100. Yeah, who don't play, 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 who don't play.
Music licensing reimagined.
Play, who don't play, 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 who don't play, 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 who don't. Long time coming, black on the bottom of my feet from running. Cataracts under my eyes from hustling. Going from buying and selling to customers. Run up the business, God is my witness. Sun up to sun up from Monday to Sunday. We maxing the limits. My mind running like Tom Cruise on an action movie. Moving the mission, they say that I'm tripping. I've been told I need a vacation. I'm finessing a visit.
What is up, everybody? Welcome to DFS by the Numbers and welcome to Stat Diggers for UFC Perth. We are back after a 1 week break and we have a solid 14 fight card in Perth, Australia. Looking forward to being back. Looking forward to breaking it down with Uncle Weezy. Uncle Weezy, what is up? Are you looking forward to UFC Perth?
Yeah, 14 fight cards, a bunch of debuting fighters on this card, Brady. There's a ton of them. We got 2 debuting fighters in the first fight, and then Montigu's the third. We got Cam Roulston making his debut. That's 4. So we've got some interesting fights here with some debuting fighters. Sutherland is 5. So we've definitely got a great fight card here. Wow, they kind of tried to troll us though, Brady. They made Junior Taffa versus Ibo Erslon the co-main event of this, and then I guess Junior got hurt, so that fight is off. And I think it's the Jack Jenkins versus Ramon Tavares fight that has been made the co-main event, which should be a really fun fight, but not the best like name value card, but our Australian friends get a local card that they're not going to have to stay up all night to watch fights. And I think it should be a fun one as long as we try to find some ways to make some money, because the last card was not good from a betting perspective or fight pick perspective for yours truly.
I'm surprised they didn't make the Sutherland Taffa fight the co-main event.
Yeah, I mean, because they seem to love to put Taffa brothers in co-main events of fight cards where people are showing up to watch. It's weird.
Ooh, these fights are kicking off at 7 Eastern on Saturday. 14 fight card. It's going to be like a late night. I don't like that.
Oh, wow. 7 Eastern for us? Really?
Yeah, that's what it's saying.
That's odd, man. I mean, I wonder what time that is in Australia that they'll be fighting.
That's probably like Sunday morning, right?
I guess. I mean, it's so far, dude. Like, I think there are planets that are closer than Perth.
Yeah.
So you know, like, it's so far, dude. So it's going to be interesting to see what time it is there. But yeah, it's going to be a fun one. Let's break it down. Let's make some fun. Let's make some money on this one, dude.
Yes, sir. Before we get started, if you guys could do us a favor, like the video, be sure to subscribe to the channel. We go live every Sunday, 10:15 p.m. Eastern time. We are never a second late. We are always on time. Do get a shout out to sponsor of the show. That is our guy, Avery. Shout out to Avery for sponsoring the show, guys. Go give him a follow at MMA_Very on X. Thank you, Avery, for keeping the show alive. And also, I did do a poll for who needs to get help. I know it's been a while, but people still need to get help. And Uncle Weezy, the options are Jared Gordon, Alice Pereira, Alessandro Costa, and the Fighting Nerds. I think it's the first time we put like a whole group of people in there. So the Fighting Nerds, Alessandro Costa, Alice Pereira, or Jared Gordon. And I have a couple things. We got to talk about the Jared Gordon situation, Weezy. What are your thoughts about that? So for the first time in UFC history, a UFC fighter gets hit by a car, right? And then proceeds to fight the next day. But it gets weirder. You look at the line of the fight, right?
Yeah.
And just before the fight is about to happen, money pours in on Rafa Garcia. The line skyrockets down. Money pours in on Rafa. Jared Gordon proceeds to make the walk with a blue knee brace and gets TKO'd in the third round. So what do we do about this? It has to be the first time, right? There's never been a fighter get hit by a car and fight the next day.
Yeah, dude. I mean, like Felipe Colares got hit by a bus and he died.
Yeah.
But like I don't remember anything ever like that happening in terms of somebody getting injured that wasn't, like weight cut related. Like you had a bad weight cut and maybe you fell backstage or something like that. Or, there have been guys that had gotten hurt, the day before a fight, wrestling practice, they tweaked their knee or something like this. This is just something that, the odds of it are crazy. And of course I bet on him. Of course I bet on him. Like when you're on a losing streak, of course you're going to bet on the guy that got hit by a car the day before. There's no stopping that. I had a half unit on him to win by knockout, and I also had him in a parlay. So yeah, that didn't work well for me. But I don't blame Jared Gordon for wanting to fight.
Really?
I don't really blame him for wanting to fight. He looked okay, I guess, but you could kind of just tell he was slower than, he had looked so good in his previous fights up to this one. And then, I see him make the walk, and then he's in that cage and he's got a turquoise knee sleeve on. And out loud, I said, "Oh, what fresh hell is this?" I've never seen him wear a knee sleeve, and that thing looked thick.
It was thick.
It wasn't like your standard Virna Jandiroba knee sleeve. That thing looked like it was padded. It looked like it was a serious injury that he had sustained. And of course I bet on him. And I don't know I really don't know what to think of it, because it wasn't like he went out there and he just got absolutely destroyed. It was pretty close for 2 rounds, but it, when I saw the knee sleeve, I was like, I'm not going to be surprised if he doesn't look as good as he normally did. And he just kind of looked slow in the pocket. He wasn't himself, man. So that one didn't work out well.
Just to be expected. If you get hit by a car, you're probably not going to be yourself.
Yeah. And he did hurt his knee. He did tweak. I don't know if it was a tweak. I don't know if he sprained a ligament. I don't know if he tore a ligament. Who knows what happened, but yeah, that Jared Gordon's not pulling out of that fight. Do you remember when he had that concussion, right? And it was 2 days before a fight, and during the press conference, he's like, "Yeah, I had a concussion, this and that," and just because he was honest about it, they actually pulled him from the fight. And for these guys, they only get paid when they fight. So if he pulls out of that fight because he gets hit by a car, he just doesn't get any money. So, I get it why Jared Gordon went out there and fought. He gets paid to fight, Brady. He
actually had an interview that he said he doesn't care about the money. He said he only fought because he had a bunch of family going. Friends and family. God. He said, "I don't care about the money. I have plenty of money outside the UFC. I want to fight." I had friends and family coming.
Oh, man. Yeah, and he got finished. Has Rafa Garcia ever finished anyone in the UFC? I think one person, right? Did he get a finish over somebody?
I think he submitted Jesse Ronson.
Jesse Ronson. Okay, yeah.
He's never knocked anybody out. I don't think he's ever knocked out anybody.
No, I don't think he has either. So,
that's why
obviously.
That's why I kind of like Gordon. It's like Rafa's probably not going to knock him out. So
it affected his performance, but credit to Rafa Garcia too. He fought well. His boxing looked good, but I don't really know what to think about that. I'm on such a rough streak lately, Brady, that I just expect. I almost kind of expect one of my fighters to have gotten hit by a car and me not to know about it.
Yeah, I just thought that was interesting, but
it was.
And then I also put Alessandro Costa up there. Alessandro Costa. We also got another first in the UFC. The first pinky toe TKO. Shout out to Alessandro Costa. Broke his pinky toe, got TKO'd. I believe that's the UFC first as well. So he's on there. We got Alice Pereira. Really no explanation. She's just not ready. They tried to give her a layup. Montserrat, it's not going to get much easier than that. And then I also put the Fighting Nerds as well. Again, no explanation. Geez, they were so hyped, so much hype on him, and all that hype has completely died down. And it's kind of sad. So vote to see who needs to get the most help out of those, and we'll get to those in a quick second here. And while we're at it, we can quickly talk about the parlay of the week. Last week, the Stat Diggers parlay, it was Dusko Todorovic, check, and Jared Gordon hit by a car, TKO'd by a car. He got TKO'd twice in 2 days. He got TKO'd by the car, and then he got TKO'd in the third round by Rafa Garcia. So the parlay does not come through, but the milking of the week, Dusko Todorovic to milk Jose Medina. this Saturday. Milked him in the third round, took him down and choked him out. That came through. And then unfortunately, we had a push. Zachary Reese to pipe SD Dumas on site. He did not pipe him, but he did kick him in the balls. So we did not.
He piped him all right. You know, it just didn't get credit for a win. But boy, did he punt that dude's balls into the stratosphere. That was nasty, man. Poor SD.
Yeah, poor SD. Hopefully they can run that one back, and hopefully we can see SD in the cage very quick. Not the dog cage, just the UFC cage. But let's get to our chat here. All right. First one in the building, we got Danny Sullivan. Let's go. Glad to be back. Glad to be back as well. We talked a little bit about the Gordon incident, line movement, pretty blatant corruption. Yeah, I mean, it's very weird. Very weird. We got Neil saying my mom's going to let me stay up late to watch Stat Diggers. There you go. Love to hear it. We got Balato by submission. Herpes. Could be another first in the UFC. A herpes submission. We know Balato has that herpes. We got Neil saying, Dad, what? Okay, we got Dixon saying, welcome back, one and all, for another episode of Stat Diggers. Good to see you, Dixon. We got Josh taking a shit. What's up, Josh? Hopefully your shit is going good. Hopefully everything's going great. We got Jimmy Crute, Fight Week. Yes, Jimmy Crute. We got UFC picks and balances. Come on. We got Forrest in the building. Oldberg is going to get revenge for John Bones Jones. Can't wait for Braden Uncle Weezy to get into Reyes' last 3 wins, but that's much later. It's much later in the show, a couple hours from now. We got Michael saying, back to the jump board. Is there a urologist on this aircraft? Potentially. Luis Garuli and Zach Reese get some help. Yeah, Luis Garuli, that one surprised me for sure. You know, getting outstruck by Jesus Aguilar with a Corey McKenna-esque reach. Like, what is his reach? Like 56 inches? I mean, you got outstruck by Aguilar. I couldn't believe it.
I didn't have money on that fight, but I was just kind of like muttering to myself, yeah, of course Aguilar's outboxing Garule. Of course that's happening, you know? I mean, I didn't even have money on the fight. I'm like, what the hell is happening here? Dude, this guy's got a 62-inch reach, and he's just tagging Garule up. I mean, great performance by Jesus Aguilar. He looked great out there.
He did. I was not expecting it to play out like that at all. I thought if Aguilar was going to win, it would be like a guillotine, but man. Yeah. We got Dudes MMA reposted the stream. Appreciate you, dude. If you guys are watching on X, don't be afraid to hit the retweet. It does help get the show out there. Brady, pull up the picture of Cedricus Romanov. Let me see if I can find it.
He didn't post the picture of his balls, did he?
No, I would not pull that up.
Yeah, okay, good. Because I know you were saying you guys want to see them, and it's just like, no,
I don't
dude,
want to see
does.
That. So, Boof on the beat. Shout out to Boof on the beat. He also, let me pull my phone off the chargers. So he sent me this a couple of weeks ago. It was Jake Hadley and Irina Alexeyeva combined, which is hilarious. It's Jake Hadley with that Irina Alexeyeva haircut, or actually, it's Irina Alexeyeva's body with Jake Hadley's head, and has a little bit of the hair there.
Oh my
but
God!
He put together Cedricus Dumas and Alexander Romanov combined here. There it is. That's terrifying looking.
It looks like McAuliffe.
It does look like McAuliffe that we'll be talking about. It does. Maybe it is McAuliffe. Maybe
that's McAuliffe, man.
I think he might have just screenshotted a picture of Jonathan McAuliffe and sent it to me. That's incredible.
Oh man.
Jeez. Gordon needs piping. What a moron. I mean, I don't know. I guess credit to him for getting hit and fighting, but I mean, nobody would have faulted him if he pulled out. I mean, I wouldn't have faulted. I'd be like, yeah, pull out. You got hit by a car, dude. But I mean, it is what it is. We got Paku MMA with the $5 dono. Appreciate you, Paku. He says, sure, boys. Very excited for this card. Brandon Perich is a childhood and family friend to me. He also used to train a bit with my coach. Let's go. Appreciate you, Paku. Yeah, we'll be talking about that fight very shortly here. They're looking forward to that heavyweight fight, which was supposed to be on the Contender Series, but they brought it to this Perth card. It's going to be kicking off the card. Should be a violent one. We got Casey saying Gordon needs to be removed from the UFC. This was a scam on bettors, especially with the late bets. Yeah, it's weird, but not really getting a ton of attention, at least as much attention as I thought it would with that late line movement. Gordon actually got run over by Kelvin Gastelum. Oh, okay. He got ran over by Kelvin Gastelum. It wasn't a car. And that makes a little bit more sense. Threw a contrarian unit on Gordon and Garcia under 2.5 rounds plus 240 and was losing my mind when Garcia went for the choke when he just needed to land 3 more strikes. Did that go under? I know it finished in the 3rd.
I don't know. Let's look.
It's probably close to going under.
Oh, dude, it did. It went under by 3 seconds.
Ooh, good cash there.
Oh, man.
Good cash there. Gary Copeland needs some help. What did Gary Copeland do? I know he needs some help, but what did he do recently?
Wasn't it the Contender Series? He had a really bad Contender Series.
Yeah, there was a Contender Series. I think it was either last week or the week before where there were a couple really, really horrible mistakes. And my Copeland probably was one of those refs. Gary Copeland does so much blow in steroids at like 5'4". I mean, that's the truth. Jamie Mullarkey needs to get some help. Yeah. He definitely needs. What I like about Jamie Mullarkey in this fight, though, is typically when he's flying to America and you got that turbulence, he's fighting at home. He's not going to get knocked out by the turbulence at home. You wouldn't think that there is going to be a car ride to the stadium, and hopefully it's not too bumpy. But that turbulence is very dangerous. We've seen multiple fighters get knocked out by it. Guys like Jamie Mullarkey, guys like Malcolm Gordon. That turbulence is no joke. Yeah. Cedricus Romanov. Yeah. Let's see. Speed kills, guys. If you watch the tape, Aguilar has some fast hands compared to Gorilla. Yeah, maybe I should have watched the tape. If I would have watched the tape, I would have known that Aguilar would have pieced him up over 15 minutes. Gotta do the tape. Jared Gordon. Yeah, Jared Gordon basically said, like, F all the bettors. That was interesting. This is a very competitive. Get some help. Can't wait to get into it. And we got Sean in the building. What's up, guys? What is up, Sean? All right. So what we'll do now is we will do we're going to end the poll here. It's very close, and we have 81 votes. Not as much votes as you'd like to. I know we got Sunday Night Football on, but I mean the game sucks. The game tonight sucks. Let's call it how it is. Russell Wilson, he's playing like ass, and I actually sent my friends over a couple pictures. I said, how ass is Russell Wilson? But I can't show those pics on stream because in one of the picture, her pussy's kind of showing. And I can't show.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They're not going to let you show that.
Yeah, you can't show the pussy. So, but anyway, he's ass. Russell Wilson's ass tonight. Yeah, it's horrible. So I'd rather watch Stat Diggers. Fighting Nerds do not need help. They're 20-4. That's true. Alice Pereira needs major help. Well, we're going to let the viewers decide, Dan, and let's see what they said. So wait, I'll get your thoughts first, Weezy. Who do you think needs help? Fighting Nerds, Jared Gordon, Alice Pereira, or Alessandro Costa?
Yeah, so I went with Gordon. Because here's the thing, man. I don't blame him for fighting hurt. I don't blame him for wanting the money. I don't blame him for wanting to show up for the people that came to the arena to see him fight. Brady, I blame him for getting hit by a car. Mm-hmm. That's hard to do, man. Have you ever been hit by a car?
I have not.
Right? They're easy to see.
Mm-hmm.
You don't walk in front of them when they're moving. It's fucking simple, I've never been hit by a car.
Mm-mm.
Never once, dude. I've never hit anybody with my car either. Like, I've never just, run over somebody on accident.
Yeah, same.
Watch it happen this week now. I probably will, actually. But, and I probably will get mowed down by a car at some point just for blaming Jared Gordon for getting hit by a car. But, yeah, I think he needs help because he got hit by a car. I think that's hard to do.
You know who else needs help? Malik Neighbors needs some help. 0 points, 3/4 down.
Yeah. Well, when Russell Wilson is thrown for how many yards?
0.
It's going to be for Malik.
Jeez. Oh, everybody needs to get some help. All right, so you went with Gordon.
I went with Gordon.
I'd go with Gordon too, personally. But in 4th place, the first ever Pinky Toe TKO, Alessandro Costa, 10%. In 3rd place, Alice Pereira, 19%.
Yeah.
And it was a very close, Wheezy.
Oh, wow.
In 2nd place, in 1st place. 1st place was 36%. 2nd place was 35%.
Wow.
So by probably 1 vote. by one vote, the person or people in this instance that need the most help are the Fighting Nerds at 36%, Jared Gordon 35%. The Fighting Nerds, get some help. You're on a little bit of a skid. You got to get some help. So yeah, Fighting Nerds need to get some help.
They've been doing so well. Like, I don't think they need help. I think they got some tough matchups, man. Nasruddin Imavov is a tough matchup. Benoit Saint-Denis is a tough matchup. Diego Lopez has got a brick for a head because Silva was tagging him up in that second round, and then he just got caught with a nuclear spinning elbow. That we've just, like, we were there when we saw two of those spinning elbows in Chicago. When Protest won by the spinning elbow and Laron Murphy. And we've just been seeing a lot more of that weapon being used. That is an extremely dangerous weapon. You get hit with a spinning back elbow, man, it's going to be nighty-night. Keep your butthole tight. So, congratulations for that fantastic knockout by Diego Lopez. But I don't think the Fighting Nerds need help. I think they'll be back. I think they're performing very well. A little bump in the road for them. But, it was a tough one. I mean, like Jared Gordon, he got hit by a car. I mean, what are you going to do?
Yeah, I agree. They took a big step up in competition. They're bound to lose at some point. Just so happen they all are kind of losing at once, though, which is interesting. Dan demanding a recount. I wish we could.
I think most of those people that are saying the Fighting Nerds, need help, lost some money. Yeah. Probably betting on Hoofy, probably betting on Silva, maybe betting on Coyote. So, but they'll get it back.
Oh, come on.
Come on, man.
Come on. All right, guys. I say we get into it here. We have 14 fights to talk about. It was supposed to be 15 with that junior talk. Like, what are they doing to us?
They're trying to. Hey, we're closing this year strong, Brady. I think we got 9 weeks of fights in a row with no breaks. So we've had 2 out of the last 4 weeks off. We got to kick some ass. Starting right now, we circle these wagons. We finish this year strong.
And we start off with a literal contender series fight. It is Brando Perich going against Elijah Ellison. We got Brando, 31 years old, 6'5" there. We got Ellison, 28 years old, 5'11". So Brando's going to be 3 years older, and he's going to have a significant 6-inch height advantage. And you got to imagine he's going to have a pretty big reach advantage as well. Brando, 4-1 in his last 5 fights, making his debut here. Ellison, 4-1 in his last 5 fights, making his debut as well. So yeah, these two are supposed to fight on the Contender Series. I'm not sure which week. Was it maybe last week or maybe this week? But either way, they're supposed to fight on the Contender Series. Now they're bringing them in here, and this is your typical, heavyweight dick swinging contest. But Brando is actually pretty well rounded. He can get takedowns. I've seen him get a submission. He has really good ground and pound as well. And what I noticed, he's just massive, dude. He trains with the city kickboxing guys, also has a kickboxing background. So I do like the Brando side here, but I mean, at the end of the day, these are two big guys that hit very, very hard. The under is juiced to -220, and that makes a lot of sense to me. I think somebody's probably getting served in the first round. Weezy, what are your thoughts on this first fight of the night?
Yeah, this will be a fun one, man. And first thing off is Brando Perisic is going to be 6 inches taller than Elijah Ellison. So both of these guys have 1 loss on their record. Elijah Ellison's fight was he kind of got finished on the ground, I believe, by Dave Pearson, and he was almost finished at the end of the first round of that fight as well. But he hits hard, and he can wrestle a little bit and get on top and have some decent ground and pound. 4 or 5 wins for Ellison by knockout, 1 by submission. And for Perisic, he's got a 4-1 professional record. He's got 3 wins by knockout, 1 by submission, and he lost to Randall Raymond, who was the Hicks fight series heavyweight champion. And that was a great fight. If you guys want to see a really fun fight, Perisic versus Raymond was one of the craziest first rounds of a heavyweight fight that I've seen in a long time. So I think Perisic has fought a slightly better brand of regional scene competition on the whole. Elijah Ellison has been fighting exclusively in a promotion called Muckleshoot Fight Night, Brady. Muckleshoot Fight Night. It is a Pacific Northwest promotion where they have pictures of sick jitsu fighters in the cage. Like you'll see pictures of Chiesa, Brady Heastand, Juliana Pena in the cage for Muckleshoot fight night. And Ellison has got wins over guys like Raphael Brewster, the venerable Spur Roundstone. He's got a win over Johnny the Anvil Burlington, who's ass. And you know, the wins for Perisic, the last 2 wins, Orion Kenny, Tumanako Phillips, not great wins. Fitial probably is his best win as a pro. So these guys are very inexperienced. Only 6 professional fights and 15 minutes of pro cage time for Elijah Ellison. Only 5 professional fights and 14 minutes of professional cage time for Perisic. Perisic average fight time as a professional, 2.8 minutes. Ellison's average fight time as a professional, 2.5 minutes. So, yeah, I mean, like, this fight screams violence, probably a first-round finish for either guy, but I think Perisic is better than Ellison. Just from what I saw on tape, I saw that he's definitely going to be the better kickboxer here. If this fight stays standing, I think Perisic is going to knock out Ellison. And if they wrestle, then I think I think they'll be pretty well matched if they do wrestle. But it's a hard one, Brady. It's a hard one to pick a winner on just because we have such small sample sizes for both fighters. It's both guys' first UFC fight, but Perisic, the city kickboxing crew, it's not nearly as long of a flight from New Zealand to Perth as it is from Washington to Perth. So, yeah, I favor Perisic here. I think he's a better kickboxer. He's fighting at home in Australia, and I think that he's a little bit more dangerous wherever the fight goes.
Yep, I'm leaning his way. Don't think I'll bet on this fight, though. He opened up plus 185. That would have been very nice. And he was at plus 185 for a while. A couple days, actually. So
Wow.
Two whole days was sitting at plus 185.
I would have loved to have taped the fight, but I hadn't seen either of these guys fight before.
Yeah.
So and even like Perisic's last 2 wins, these guys are nobodies. So, yeah, we're gonna have to find out. But I definitely do think that this is going to be a Perisic win. But you got to lay minus 180, I think, Brady. Is that where it is right now?
Yeah.
And it's just a little tricky. Heavyweight fight, both guys making their debut. You know, there's a lot of variance in these kind of fights, and the under is juiced to the tits. So I think Perisic maybe be a good DraftKings play this week, but these guys both hit hard.
Yeah. The under 1.5 minus 220, which probably hits right, but laying minus 220 on the under is never fun. Ever.
Yeah, especially if they wind up in the clinch and they just sit there for a while. You're like, come on, break it up, ref. Get it back out in the middle of the cage.
Yeah, I doubt I'm touching this one, but I'm with you with Brando potentially get it done. We got Big Steve saying hello, Dix. Yeah. What is up, Big Steve?
Up, Steve?
Saw Ellison get dropped by the weakest hooked from a blob. Yeah,
I saw that too. I think that was Johnny the Anvil Burlington, if I'm not mistaken. Tough guy, shitty fighter, but a tough guy. They don't call you the Anvil if you're a weak ass beta, Brady. Let me just tell you that.
You got that right. What? Cedricus Dumas still can't take a lead. I thought he said he finally took his first P a couple days after the fight. So he's taking at least 1 P that we know of.
God, I hope so, man. That's messed up, dude.
It is messed up. And it couldn't have happened to a better guy as well.
I know. Because it's the crippled kids that he works with that are suffering right now.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Okay. All right. Let's move on.
All right.
To the next fight. Very interesting fight here. We got Michelle Montigu going against Luana Karolina. We got Montigu. Is 31 years old, 5'9" with a 69-inch reach. We got Karolina, 32 years old, 5'6" with a 69-inch reach. A lot of 69 there, which I'm a big fan of 69. But yeah, same reach there. We got Montigu, who is 3 inches taller. We got Karolina, who's going to be 1 year older. So question here, Karolina typically fights at flyweight, right? Or has she fought at bantamweight?
Well, I can look at my stats here and see if there were any fights that have been scheduled at bantamweight so far for her in the UFC. And the answer is no. They've all been 125, but the Stoliarenko fight was fought at a catch weight of 129. And I think that's because Julia missed weight, not Luana, if I'm not mistaken.
No, it says Karolina weighed in at 128.
Huh. Okay. I wonder if she took the fight on short notice or something, because she's never missed weight in her career outside of that Stoliarenko fight.
Oh, she actually missed weight in the Bedoya fight.
It doesn't show that on mine. It shows that fight was fought at 125 in my stats, so I missed that.
Oh, it's just on Tapology.
Okay.
So yeah, two, and then she always kind of looks like death on the scale. So maybe it's good. She's kind of moving up here, but so that's interesting. First time at bantamweight for Karolina. And yeah, Montigu, she's probably one of the most one-dimensional fighters I've ever seen in my entire life. And she's good at that one dimension. Like, her grappling's very good. If she gets to your back, she's going to choke you out. She's buddies with Kayla Harrison, it looks like, training at American Top Teams, training with very good company there. And yeah, I mean, it's a pretty simple fight to break down. Like, either she gets the takedown and she gets the sub, or she doesn't and she loses the fight. What I find most interesting about this fight, and there's two fights on this card where the totals, they're not really correlating to me. They're not really adding up, right? And this is the first one where we have Montigu, who's minus 210, right? The under 2.5 is plus 135. That makes no sense to me. She's 6-0, 6 subs. When she's winning fights, she's getting a submission. If she's winning this fight, she's getting a submission. If she's not getting a submission, she's probably, getting outpointed and losing her striking is just non-existent. Chin up in the air. I mean, she has no striking. So this total makes no sense to me. It's either the total's wrong or the money line's wrong. Because if this fight goes over 2.5 rounds, I kind of lean Karolina. But if Montigu does get the back, it's probably over shortly after. Her grappling is very good. So yeah, it's kind of a weird fight. I don't know if I would lay minus 210 on Montigu. I think I'd rather just bet the sub prop. But I liked what I saw in terms of the grappling. But if she goes up against a fighter who can stuff takedowns, it's going to be ugly, and it's going to be very, very ugly.
Yeah, I mean, Montigu, 6 wins, 6 rear naked chokes. She's a takedown artist. Once she gets you down, she's going to look for ways to get to the back. And once she gets to the back, she's really good at finishing there. So Karolina is somebody that's been allowing 1.5 takedowns per 15 minutes. She's showing 71% takedown defense, which isn't bad, but she is allowing 25.2% control time over a 9-fight stretch. So I don't really like that. I don't want to see that Luana's out there getting taken down or getting held in the clinch, because that's where this fight needs to be. Because, Luana's doing pretty good at distance striking range at the UFC level, Brady. Positive 1.2 distance striking differential. 44.5% accuracy is pretty far above average for the division. 58% defense is solid enough. She's been knocked out once. What was it? The dreaded spinning back elbow, Molly McCann in England. Tough matchup for her, but yeah, I mean, obviously this is going to be about who's able to dictate the pace and location of this fight. Because if we see this taking place in the clinch, Luana's pretty good there from what I remember. She's landed 131 significant clinch strikes and absorbed 106. But there's a couple things that are worrying me here, and just in terms of variance for the fight, like how it winds up playing out, because Michelle Montigue's making a UFC debut. There's going to be some nerves associated with that. Is she in Florida, or is she in, Australia right now? I mean, I think that's I'd like to know that, because, Perth is just so far from everything. If she is still training at American Top Team, where is she finishing up the last 2 weeks of this camp? Let's hope she's back at that part of the world, because Luana Karolina is going to be making a long flight. Unless you're in like Curitiba or in the Parana region of Brazil, you're coming from the eastern half of South America. If you're from Sao Paulo, if you're from Rio, you have to fly all the way across South America before you make that 16-hour trek over the Pacific Ocean. And then when you get to Australia, guess what? You're at the northeast corner. Now you got to fly all the way to the West Coast over to Perth, man. I mean, it's such a long flight. So I don't know how Luana Karolina is going to handle the move up to 135. I don't know how she's going to handle the long flight to Perth. And if she does get taken down, you know, how is the ground game going to look against somebody as dominant on the mat as Montigu, as big and physical as Montigu is? And the fact that she's training with Kayla Harrison at an America Top Team. Because when I was watching her fight, you saw Kayla just screaming out instructions like Kayla was coaching her, you know? So that's something that it's going to be that's the best training partner that you can have. That's the best female fighter right now in the organization at 135 pounds is Kayla Harrison. So, I think that that's going to really help Michelle Montague here. But if she doesn't get takedowns, Luana is going to piece her up. So when you're looking at this from a betting perspective, Brady, you know, there's a path to victory for a plus 200 underdog who's got a big strength to schedule advantage, a big experience advantage. Dude, Luana Karolina's got 15 pro fights and Montague's got 6. Right? And I mean, I've seen Montague put in a deep Darce choke by Shaquita Woods. She went into round 3 against Abigail Montez and was getting pieced up a little bit on the feet in that fight. I mean, Karolina's got better wins as a professional than Michelle Montague does. So I think there are reasons why there was some value on the Karolina side. And if she winds up stuffing the takedowns here, you're going to make a really good bet if she keeps this fight standing, because she's going to win the minutes and moments on the feet here.
Yep. But what worries me is, I mean, Luana Karolina's been taken down in the last 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 fights.
That's bad. It's bad. And
That's
you got to
really
go all the way to Australia now.
That's really bad because one takedown, I mean, that literally could be it. Like the rounds, I mean, Montague's grappling is pretty dang good. So
yes.
So yeah, minus 210 for Montagu and Karolina plus 180. The over 2.5 minus 155. The under 2.5 opened at plus 226, which is ridiculous. And now it's plus 135, which I still think is kind of ridiculous considering if Montague's winning, it's probably by submission. All right. What? SD is working while wearing a Texas catheter now. Oh, gosh.
I don't know what a Texas catheter is. I just know that a catheter is something that you'd rather not have in you.
Yeah. Montague is an actual tank and has that dog in her. Yeah, she is a tank. She is a tank. Luana Karolina has been taken down by basically every fight. Yeah, that's true. She was taken down by her last 6 opponents. The only person that didn't take her down was, believe it or not, Priscilla Cachoeira.
Yeah, who's never even attempted to take down in the UFC, I think, man.
But other than that, everybody's taking her down. Batalia's taking her down. Loopy's taking her down. McCann's taking her down. Wood's taking her down. Petrovich took her down. Julia Stolyarenko took her down. And Lucy Pudilova took her down. Everybody's taking her down. So, yeah, makes sense that Montague's the favorite. But if she doesn't get a takedown, it's going to look rough. So, I don't know. Why is Stolyarenko taking you down? I mean, Stolyarenko can take you down every once in a while, right? I mean, she can hit the occasional takedown. 20% accuracy for Stolyarenko. That's actually better than I thought it would be.
Yeah, it is actually.
A little better than I thought it'd be. I was thinking maybe like 15%. Texas means his catheter is either cow skin cover or rattlesnakes.
Sweet. Yeah, okay. So it's got a little flair.
Fancy. Very fancy. Heck yeah.
Pretty badass, yeah.
All right. So, yeah, let's move on to the next fight. It is going to be, in my opinion, the first of multiple 1-800-GAMBLER fights on this card is Jamie Mullarkey going against Rolando Bedoya. We got Jamie Mullarkey, 31 years old, 6 foot with a 74-inch reach. Rolando Bedoya, 28 years old, 5'11" with a 75-inch reach. We got Bedoya, 3 years younger. Mullarkey, 1-inch height advantage, and Bedoya with a 1-inch reach advantage. Mullarkey is 2-3 in his last 5 fights. A decision win against Francisco Prado, knockout loss to Muhammad Naimov, decision win against John McDessie, a knockout loss to Nazareth Hackbrass, a knockout loss against Mauricio Hufi. As far as Rolando Bedoya, 2-3 in his last 5 fights, made his debut against Chaos Williams, lost that fight by decision, lost a decision to Song Kanan, and then lost a decision to Jai Herbert. So why I think this fight is so tough to break down, it's because, you know, Jamie Mullarkey, first of all, I thought he was a lot older than 31. I thought he was like 36. So, Yeah, 30. I mean, in fight years, he's probably 100, right? I mean, the amount of damage Jamie Mullarkey's taken, he doesn't look right in there. He can't take a shot. I was looking back through his past several fights, and he's getting hurt in like every single fight outside of the Prado fight where he was wrestling, but he's either getting hurt or knocked out in pretty much all of his fights. Like the chin of Mullarkey is dust. Hoofy knocked him out. Hackbrass knocked him out. McDessie dropped him. They didn't count that as a knockdown, but McDessie definitely hurt him and dropped him. Naimov knocked him out. Michael Johnson knocked him down. Jalen Turner knocked him out. So, yeah, I mean, the chin of Mullarkey, I think, is dust. And when you think of bad chins, you think of guys like Shannon Ross, Malcolm Gordon, but those guys are cut. So I think currently, Weezy, the guy with the worst chin in the UFC, pound for pound, my money's on Jamie Mullarkey. Can you think of a guy, pound for pound, on the current roster with a worse chin of Jamie Mullarkey that has been knocked out 6 times?
Probably not, man. I mean, we do have Andre Petroski, who got knocked out shooting a takedown. So he definitely hasn't been knocked down as much as Jamie Mullarkey has, or knocked out as much. But
yeah,
I mean, pound for pound, the chin might be similar, but yeah, no, it's not lost on me, dude. You're right. This guy's getting dropped way too much. And even if you go back and you watch his first UFC fight, Brady, it was just an absolute fucking brawl against was it Riddell? I believe.
Riddell. Yep.
And they were talking about how that was always how Mullarkey fought before he got to the UFC. So this guy's he loves to fight. But after a while, the brain starts to say, dude, you got to stop this. You're getting me peppered in here. And Jamie Mullarkey's they're taking the salt and they're kind of like sprinkling it on his brain, because it's not looking good right now for the durability of Jamie Mullarkey. And then on the other side, you got Rolando Bedoya, who's got a head like an Easter Island statue, and he moves his head about as much as an Easter Island statue moves. And this guy can sit there and eat punches after punches after punches, and not only he won't bleed, he won't show, he just smiles when you hit him. This guy is the Peruvian Homer Simpson, dude. He really is. We got the Bolivian Homer Simpson and Jose Medina, but Rolando Bedoya is the Peruvian Homer Simpson. He just doesn't care if you hit him. He throws a ton of volume.
I was shocked that Bedoya's actually been knocked down twice. So both these guys' chins.
He's been dropped twice, but I think it's just more because his head is so fucking big.
Yeah.
That if you hit him right, it's just gonna take him off of balance. He's gonna fall down. It's like a fat, it's like a kid with a big head that hasn't learned how to walk yet, because they can't really as soon as you sway one way or another, you go over like a Jenga game, So this is going to be a fun fight, but I somebody mentioned in the chat a little bit earlier, Bedoya finish only prop. I mean, this guy's never been finished, and he can just eat big shots like chimichangas. So I feel like if there is a finish, it'll be a Bedoya KO. And Bedoya throws a ton of volume, and he doesn't really have UFC power, but he can actually put a pace on you and hurt you to the body potentially. And then he can get you out of there if he lands a big shot. And Mullarkey's just, I don't have much faith in the durability. But there's another problem with this one, Brady. 1 year and 1 month layoff for Bedoya. 1 year and 4 months layoff for Mullarkey here. So Mullarkey's resting that chin. He's trying to get it ready to take some shots again, So maybe he'll come out with a little bit more durability in this fight. And if he does, I think he can get some takedowns potentially here and win some minutes that way against Bedoya, and he can keep it close on the feet. But I think if this one just stays at distance striking range for a long time, I think Bedoya is going to throw more. I think he's going to land more, and I think he's going to visually just eat the clean shots way better than Mullarkey does. So I kind of favor Bedoya's ability to win moments on the feet here too. The question is, can he keep this fight standing most of the time? Because Mullarkey spends about 75% of his UFC octagon time at distance striking range, and it's 90% for Bedoya. So I kind of lean to the Bedoya side here because I see this fight mostly taking place at distance striking range, and I think Rolando does more, lands more, probably lands the bigger shots, but I don't know. Maybe the 16 months off from Mullarkey at only 31 years of age has him a little bit rejuvenated and has him looking the best he's looked in a while. That's a possibility.
Yeah, we're picking the same winner. I'm seeing it a little bit. I kind of think if Bedoya is winning, it's by knockout. Because if it goes to decision, like he's just so bad. Like he stinks, dude. Like he's not a minute winner. Like he stinks.
Who, Mullarkey or Bedoya?
Mullarkey's actually like skilled. He's a good striker. He's a good wrestler. He's a good grappler. He just has no chin. Whereas Bedoya, he has the durability. So I kind of think Bedoya's winning. He's probably knocking out Mullarkey or winning off a moment and dropping him.
Yeah, I kind of see that as well. But like you said, I think Mullarkey is technically the better boxer, and I think he's definitely the better wrestler. The guy that's a lot more likely to go out there and shoot takedowns and potentially win minutes with some clinch control, some ground and pound.
Yeah, it's a weird one. It's a straight pick, and which makes a ton of sense to me. Like I wouldn't be shocked if Mullarkey went out there and 30-27 them, to be honest. But I also wouldn't be shocked if Bedoya knocked him out. So it's a weird one. Straight pick him -110. I think that makes sense to me. The total's interesting. The over 2.5 is -175. The under 2.5 is +153. I kind of don't mind like the under.
Yeah, I don't mind it either.
Lightweight fight. Mullarkey has
hard to see
zero
Bedoya getting finished. I mean, like,
yeah,
it's like trying to finish an Easter Island statue. That go and punch it as much as you want. That thing's not moving.
Yeah, that's true. Maybe Bedoya by knockout.
That could be. I mean, I could see that happening. It's not like Mullarkey hasn't been knocked out in 4 of his 6 UFC losses and 6 of his 8 pro losses. And our guy Dan Levy in the chat talking about how he got knocked out by Volkanovski on the regional scene, and it was a vicious one.
Yeah, he's been knocked out by everybody at this point. It's pretty bad.
Yeah, 6 knockout losses. We don't hear numbers like that.
Wait, no, we don't.
You know, that's a lot of knockout losses, dude.
It's a lot. Rolando Bedoya is a rich man's Jose Daniel Medina. Yeah, it's funny. I was telling Weezy the same thing. Like he reminds me of this reminds me of Dusko Todorovic versus Jose Medina.
Yeah, Bedoya is a much better striker than Medina is. That's for sure.
Yeah, a little bit. As someone who's bet Rolando Bedoya, what's the 100 gambler equivalent in Australia? I don't know. I have to look up a number.
I'm not sure.
Over 2.5 -170 isn't bad. Bedoya throws arm punches and has no power. Yeah, he has no power, but does it matter against Mullarkey? That's the thing. Dusko 6 times knocked down is bad, but Mullarkey really that bad. Jekka just a rookie. He got Hall of Fame KO vibes with him. What? I don't know. We got Bob Collins with the 199. Dono saying, "Been a minute, Uncle Weezy. Can I get a story?"
Oh God, a story. Shit, I didn't even. I don't know, man. Dude, we got 14 fights to break down, man. I don't know if I have a story on lined up right now.
Bob, we'll get you one next week. I'll write it down.
Yeah, all right. Write it down and remind me. Yeah, and
yeah, we got you next
week. To donate again next week. We'll come up with something next week. Do a little story time with Uncle Weezy.
Yeah, I have to agree. But Bedoya throws arm punches. Yeah, it's not great. Who has pink hair? If Bedoya has pink hair, I might have to bet Mullarkey.
That would be wild. He's. I think he's dyed his hair before. So.
Nope, no pink hair. So I hope it's not Jamie Mullarkey with the pink hair. He doesn't strike me as somebody that would have pink hair. Let me see. It's not Bedoya, and it is. It's not Mullarkey. Nobody has.
Remember when Petroski did that like leopard print shit?
Yeah. I don't. Well, we'll check Petroski's Instagram in a little bit, but none of these two guys have pink hair.
Okay, good. He probably is talking about Justin Taffa. I think he's coming out with pink hair this time.
Wait, what? Are you being serious?
Can you imagine that? Justin Taffa with or a pink mustache. That would be even better.
Oh my gosh. The only person I remember coming out with pink hair is Rong Zhu, and he got submitted by Ignacio Bahamondes. Never sported that pink hair again. Unfortunately, Jamie is the worst Aussie we got. I'd say he's a little better than Colby Thicknesse, but
yeah, and Shannon Ross.
Oh God, yeah. A very interesting story about when I met his sponsors at a UFC event, but that's for another day. Okay.
All right.
Volk knocked Mullarkey the F out on the regional. Was an ugly one, and then they started training together, which is pretty cool. I feel like he's going to struggle to get past Mullarkey's jab. I doubt he KOs him, but Mullarkey does hit pretty hard and can see him winning on damage. Yeah, Mullarkey definitely has some power himself. Jamie is Aussie. Always thought he was Conor McNuggets, bro. If I was a UFC fight, I would not want to be on the White House card. Am I crazy?
I mean, if you're an American, I'd want to be on that card for sure,
cool.
man.
I think it'd be cool. Bedoya finish only. I think that's a great look, but I'd be shocked if they weren't all over that because of how durable he is. We got Yes Freak in the building. What is up? What is up? What else we got here? Peruvian food is amazing. I've not had Peruvian food.
Oh, it's so good, dude. It is so good. Peruvian food is ridiculously good.
Bedoya dyed his hair pink.
He might have, dude. I remember he dyed his hair once. Like, I think I've seen it even on the regional scene. He's done it like with like a stripe or something like that.
Yeah, I think I know what you're talking about. I see a yellow stripe. Does he have the pink stripe there? And then he went full blonde, and he had that silver, the shoot the box silver hair at one point too.
Yeah, I remember that. That's right.
Wow. Yeah, I don't know. I don't see that. Might have been a long time ago that pink hair, but I do remember. I think I do remember that. All right. He's a Chris Moutinho, Jose Daniel, Medina hybrid. Medina has been on Smoko. Aussies love their Smoko.
I don't know what Smoko.
I don't know. What's up, Dr. Peener? Good to see you in here. All right, let's keep moving on to the next fight. Oh, what do you know? Another 100 gambler fight. It is Colby Thicknesse. Let me ask you this: Is he the slickest person to step foot in the UFC? Colby Thicknesse. I think it's between him and slippery Pete Barrett. Who's more slippery?
Oh, come on, Pete Barrett, dude.
Really?
Yeah, Pete Barrett. I mean, this guy got absolutely run through by the bad Topuria, who fights once every 4.5 years and has never fought anybody with a winning record. And he just got ran through. That fight was not close at all. So, yeah, Colby Thicknesse is not one of my favorite fighters. I don't think he's very slick. We are not putting him anywhere in the same neighborhood as our guy, friend of the show, Slippery Pete Barrett, dude.
I mean, yeah, slippery Pete Barrett. He is very, very slippery.
Yes.
Very slippery. So, yeah, that's a good point. So, yeah, I agree. We'll put slippery Pete Barrett number 1, Colby Thicknesse number 2. But, yeah, this is a freaking mess. I mean, Thicknesse versus Musasa. We got Thicknesse, 26 years old, 5'9" with a 70-inch reach. Musasa, 26 years old, 5'8" with a 74-inch reach. Same age there. Thicknesse with a 1-inch height advantage and a 4-inch reach disadvantage. Colby Thicknesse, he is 4-1 in his last 5 fights, made his debut against Alexandre Topuria, lost that fight by decision. As far as Musasa, had a decision win on the Contender Series and then lost by submission to Carlos Vera. So, yeah, I mean, this just feels like a Contender Series fight to me, like a tough fight. The only reason Colby Thicknesse is in the UFC is because of Volk. You know, he's Volk's buddy, trains with Volk. They gave him a short notice spot against Topuria. And yeah, he survived against Topuria, but Topuria didn't really do anything in that fight for 15 minutes, kind of really conserved his gas tank, didn't really do much. And when he did throw, he landed and hurt Thicknesse in the first round. Other than that, it was a really terrible fight that coasted to the full 15 minutes. And then you got Musasa, who got outstruck at distance by Carlos Vera, dropped by Carlos Vera, and then submitted by Carlos Vera. It's like, what are we doing here? Like, I don't really want to bet on either of these guys. I don't think either of these guys are that great. I do think Musasa definitely has more upside. This guy hits very hard, but I don't know, man. I don't know about this one. I'm leaning Musasa, but I mean, if Thicknesse can get the wrestling going, he's gonna have a pretty big advantage. I don't know. 1-800 gambler for me.
What's the line on this one?
We got Musasa minus 145, Thicknesse plus 125.
I mean, what a discount. You know,
Yeah.
for a phenom like Musasa, who was minus 1,000 in his UFC debut, coming out of the MMA hotbed known as the Belgian Congo. Musasa lost the first fight. Little bit lucky, maybe a little bit lucky for Vera, you know, caught him with a head kick and then jumped on the rear naked choke. So this could be a good bounce back spot for Musasa. And I mean, if you watch the Tanzalovi fight, this dude can stop some takedowns and he hits hard.
Yeah.
You know, he's gonna be so much better than Thicknesse on the feet. The question is can Colby close the distance without getting hurt, make this dude grapple and find some takedowns and some top time? Now, he couldn't take down Topuria, 8 takedown attempts. He didn't get any of them. And he was out-controlled 33.6% to 0%. So counting on Colby to win minutes at this level against UFC fighters, it's going to be tricky, man. You know, I don't know how good this guy is, but, you know, I mean, like, how would you feel if you laid like 2 units on Musasa and then he got caught again and choked out? You know, I mean, you put your head in the oven.
Yeah, I mean, I would never do that.
It would be horrible, you know? So, I mean, like, this is just 14 fights on the card, Brady. The bookies got to make a line doesn't mean we have to bet it. And, I mean, this should be a pretty fun fight. I'm interested to see if Musasa can bounce back and get a win. But, you know, it's a tall order, dude. Going from Africa to Perth, that's not a fun flight either. And he's fighting a local kid who trains with some guys that are 20 times better than anybody that Musasa's training with in the Congo. So, and this one is just a stay away from me. I'll pass gladly and see if Musasa can find his first win here.
Yeah, I guess the only place I have interest in is maybe the under. So the under 2.5 is plus money, but it's like, are either one of these guys good enough to get a finish? I mean, in theory, Musasa could potentially get a knockout, right? And in theory, you know, Thicknesse, if he does get on top, you know, it does have some slick grappling, can win by submission. So I do see some paths for a finish, but are either one of these two good enough to finish somebody?
Yeah, I mean, even Thicknesse has finished 4 of his 7 wins, but against who?
Oh.
You know, have you ever heard of Jufri Gobel?
No.
And I know like Marvin Malunas is like I think he's from the Philippines, and I think he's got like a losing record, if I'm not mistaken. So, I mean, I don't know if any of these wins that Thicknesse has on the Australian regional scene would be, you know, on the same level as an opponent like Musasa. It's hard to know, dude. So, like I say, man, it's an easy fight to pass on, and then we can make fun of whoever loses money on this fight next week.
Yep. Yeah. I'm not touching this one. We got 4-cent question for Brady and Uncle Weezy. Who is your favorite current UFC fighter? Mine is Elliot Topuria by a country mile. I'll probably say Max Holloway. He's always been my favorite fighter.
Yeah, for me, it's Fluffy Hernandez, man.
Yep, another good one there. I also liked. Used to be a fan of Colby Covington. Not anymore.
I think his act it's worn. It's run its course, and if you're acting like that and not winning, it's going to get old really fast. And he's old. You know, his style doesn't really work anymore because he doesn't look like he's working like he used to, and he's old. So yeah, I was a big fan of his too, but not anymore really.
Not after the Rocky Edwards. Like, how are you losing to Leon Rocky Edwards?
Oh,
how do you lose to Leon Edwards,
dude? I mean, like, Leon Edwards, like, decisively won that fight by doing less than I've ever seen a fighter do. Like, find me a 5-round fight where somebody won decisively and did less than what Leon Edwards did to Colby Covington. I mean, I think what he did was he landed some leg kicks. I think that was really the only thing that he did in that fight. That fight sucked.
it's horrible. I can't get down with I can't get down with either one of these two guys.
Yeah.
Thickness can grapple. Can he though? Like we said,
Can he wrestle though? If you can grapple, you still need to get the fight to the ground. And 0 for 8 on takedowns in his UFC debut against Topuria.
Yeah. Jeez. Peener, my girl gives me teethy head and my wiener gets all red. And ashy, what should I do? I can't even jerk because it's so raw. All right. Vera sub over Musasa was my best MMA hit all year. It was plus 1325 or something. Yeah, I got it at plus, I think 1400 or plus 1600.
Yeah.
I couldn't believe it. I thought it was going to lose for sure because Vera's like probably the worst bantamweight on the roster.
I know.
He submitted Musasa. It was wild. It was absolutely wild. Question is Tanzalov versus Thicknesse. Who is better?
I think Tanzalovi, but I don't know. It's hard to know because, I don't know who Tanzalovi's wins were over before the Musasa fight on Dana White's Contender Series.
Yeah, Fluffy is your favorite fight, which makes sense to me.
Yeah.
We got Dr. Peener with the 199 saying, Wheezy, we need details on the chimp attacks.
Yeah, dude. I mean, I'm not joking about this. Josias Musasa's family was killed by chimpanzees.
Wait, is that serious? That's horrible.
How could I make that up, dude? Seriously.
That's horrible.
That's horrible. And that's why we were talking about it last time when this guy was fighting. It's like, how are you making any fighter from that part of the world a minus 1,000 favorite in the UFC? When you look at Tapology for the gym that Musasa trains at, and they can't even confirm that it exists. And who knows what an MMA gym looks like in the Congo, which is a country that's at war right now. I'm just surprised that this guy is still there. You would think that he would be able to call from someone from the UFC and say, help me get me and my family out of here. I'll move anywhere.
Yeah, you would think he'd move to a different gym by now, but
dude, you could move just about any place in the world and not have your family killed by chimpanzees.
Yeah, I would tend to agree.
So I don't know, man. And no, Jorge, I'm not attempting stand-up. How would I see? I mean, how could I make that up?
It doesn't sound made up.
It's not made up. I didn't make that up. You go and you watch the Contender Series fight, they actually say that.
It's messed up. Messed up situation. Sacha liking Thicknesse. Musasa is so predictable with his movements. Thicknesse is training with Volk, a literal genius. Musasa will get set up. I mean, if Volk could go in there and fight for him, I would be on the Thicknesse side. But he's not, so I think I'm just gonna pass. Musasa clear by low spot. If he TKOs Vera as everyone expected, how big of a favor is he here? Probably a massive favor, to be honest, right?
Yeah.
If he knocks out Carlos Vera, because there was some hype on Musasa prior to that Vera loss.
There's no hype on him. He wasn't supposed to win that Tanzalovi fight.
Yeah. I really think Cedricus Dumas should book an appointment with Dr. Peener. Yeah, I'm surprised he hasn't.
That would be smart.
And yeah, Uncle Weezy would never lie to us.
Nope.
Exactly. All right, let's keep moving on to the next fight. We have Cam Roulston going against Andre Petroski. We got Roulston, 30 years old, 6'3" with a 78-inch reach. Petroski, 34 years old, 6 foot with a 73-inch reach. Roulston, 4 years younger, 3-inch height advantage, 5-inch reach advantage. We got Roulston, 4-1 in his last 5 fights. He had a Contender Series loss against Torres Finney, where Finney took him down 50 times, lost that fight by decision, but he did bounce back against Brandon Holmes. I believe he was an underdog there and knocked out Brandon Holmes in the very first round to earn a contract. As far as Andre Petroski, 3-2 in his last 5 fights, got knocked out by Jacob Malkoun, won a decision against Josh Fremd, Dylan Bucka, and Rodolfo Vieira, and then lost a decision to Edmund Shabazian. So I don't know. I'm sick of it, Weezy. I'm sick of losing money on Andre Petroski fights. It's like his fights are just so awful. Remember the Dylan Bucka fight where Bucka, he weighed in and he literally looked dead Like he missed weight. He looked like he died. He
Yeah.
shouldn't have been fighting. And I'm like, okay, I'm going to bet Petroski inside the distance. And what does he do? He takes him down and controls him for 15 minutes. I'm smashing my TV. The Vieira fight sucked. Neither guy really did much of anything. It was a fight that took place on the feet. It was a very close fight, went to decision. And even the Shabazian fight was kind of boring. Not a ton, went down. And I had Shabazian by knockout there, and he drops him in the third round, but doesn't finish him. I'm sick and tired of losing money on Andre Petroski fights. So I'm not sure I want to get involved, but this is an interesting fight because Petroski, in theory, he does have a path here. Roulston, he's not your typical city kickboxing guy at all. And this guy is a very, very good grappler, very slick grappler. He actually has the majority of his wins coming by submission. He does have that striking to go along with it. He's a very tall, very rangy guy, has some power in his hands as well. But his takedown defense isn't great. His takedown defense isn't great. We've seen that. We've seen him get taken down in multiple fights. With that said, he does do a good job at getting back up, but Petroski does have a pretty clear path here with the grappling, with the takedowns. The question is, will Petroski be able to do that for 15 minutes? The question is, will he be able to take down Roulston if he gets back up? Could he do that for 50? I mean, that's a lot of energy there. And if it turns out that Roulston is able to stuff some of these takedowns, it could only take one shot. I mean, we've seen Petroski knocked out, more times than not. So I don't know, kind of a tough fight to call. What are your thoughts on this one here, Weezy?
Yeah, I mean, I just think it's kind of odd because like Cam Roulston was about the same price versus the 5-0 Brandon Holmes last time on Dana White's Contender Series as he is now against Andre Petroski, who's 8-3 in the UFC. That's odd to me. That seems like we're getting a giant discount on Petroski. But when did Roulston fight last? I mean, it was like less than a month ago. So like the problem here is that Petroski's taking this fight on short notice too, and it's in Australia.
Oh, I didn't know that. That's not good.
Well, yeah, because Cam Roulston fought less than a month ago, Brady. So he fights on Dana White's Contender Series. He gets the knockout win over Brandon Holmes. They didn't even make this fight until like a week after that. So Petroski, remember when he took the short notice fight in the U.S. because he was training in Thailand?
Yeah, it didn't end too well.
Yeah, and he got knocked out in like less than a minute by Michelle Pereira, who's on a yacht somewhere right now. And since that fight, though, he's been looking pretty good. But the thing is, the last performance against Shabazian showed sub-zero fight IQ. The guy didn't wrestle. He got 2 takedowns in less than 30 seconds of control time. So, and then he was pretty comfortable just sitting there getting tagged up by Edmund Shabazian. So if you can't take down Edmund Shabazian, it worries me because right now we've got a situation where there's a discount price being offered on Petroski. Huge strength of schedule advantage for Petroski. Huge wrestling advantage for Petroski. Huge grappling advantage for Petroski. Solid experience advantage for Petroski. And 11 more fights at the UFC level. 2 more hours of UFC cage time. And his striking is serviceable. It's not like Cam Roulston just goes out there and destroys Andre Petroski on the feet because he's got to worry about the takedown entries. So I feel like Petroski should absolutely win this fight. I think he can keep the distance striking exchanges close enough to be able to get takedowns in each of the 3 rounds. And once he gets the takedowns, Petroski takes no chances. Once he gets you down, it's the round because he blends his wrestling and his jiu-jitsu beautifully. I would say that Andre Petroski is probably a better wrestler than Torres Finney. Torres Finney is a guy who's an explosive athlete who was a state champion in Tennessee. But Andre Petroski was in a singlet at 3 years of age, and he came up in New York and Pennsylvania, where the wrestling scene is 10 times better than it is in Tennessee. So I think that Petroski's got a lot of advantages here. But he's taking a fight on short notice in Australia, coming off a really bad performance, in my opinion. So you got Roulston, who's an underdog to a 5-0 guy on DWCS last time. He has one of the best performances of his career, gets a first-round knockout there. And Petroski's coming off a really bad performance. So I think that this is one of those spots where, Petroski at minus 150 might be a little bit of a gift And if he's getting takedowns like he did in the Fremd fight, like he did in the Dylan Budker fight, you know, he's going to make this look pretty easy. But if he can't get those takedowns, or if he fights stupid like he did in the Shabazian fight and isn't really going out there and mixing in the wrestling, then, I mean, he could blow this, especially in Australia against somebody like Roulston, who is going to be the better striker here.
Yeah, I mean, I think there's a reason why it's so close. Like Roulston's a much better grappler than Budka, Fremd, you know, Gilmore, Yazong Hu, you know, guys like that. And he gets back up, like he stands back up, like against Finney, he stood back up, 10, 11 times. So yeah, I don't know. I can see a Petroski 30-27, but I could also see him, you know, getting tired. I mean, getting subbed. Maybe we saw him get subbed in the Tough House because he was tired and shot in on a sloppy attempt.
Yep.
Could see him get knocked out by a hip. Could see him get knocked out by a gust of wind. It's a really weird fight. Because Petroski does have upside to look like a big favorite, but I can see so many things going wrong. And I didn't even know that he was coming in here on short notice.
Yeah, they both kind of are.
Very interesting.
You know, because they made this fight. They didn't make this fight more than 2 or 3 weeks ago, dude.
Yikes. That's not good.
Yeah, so for Petroski having to make if he is in Philly, that's Philly to Perth. God help this man. That's a long ass flight.
Like a whole day of flying.
Oh, it's more than a day, dude.
Oh,
it's way over 24 hours.
Let me check the Instagram. Let me see if he has. What's he doing?
It's one thing if he's in Thailand at Bang Tao. That's a much shorter trip.
So he was in Australia about a day ago.
Okay.
That's all I can.
It's already fight week, so.
Yeah, he's not posting much.
Okay.
Not posting much. So I don't know. He did do an interview. I might go check out his interview to see what's been up with Petroski. But yeah, very interesting stuff. But yeah, Petroski is the favorite. He opened up -220, currently -150. Roulston opened up +185, currently +130. The over-under sit at 2.5 rounds. The over 2.5 -131. The under 2.5 rounds is +111, which I find very interesting. Like Petroski, he just doesn't seem to have any he doesn't seem to want to finish fights. Like it seems like he actively avoids to try to finish the fight.
Yep.
So
he doesn't take chances, Brady. He's terrified to take chances, and that's not necessarily a bad thing.
It's not.
Because when he does get on top of you, he can stay there and he'll win the rounds when he gets those takedowns, you know. But and I think that if he does get on Roulston, I don't think Roulston's getting back up. If Petroski gets on top of him, Petroski's Brazilian jiu-jitsu is so good, and his wrestling is way better than Roulston's. You know, I think Roulston's going to be a tricky submission grappler, but these guys are not on the same level when it comes to wrestling.
Yeah, that's true. We'll see. You know, Roulston gets taken down a lot, but he does get back up. Not even in the Finney, like a lot of times. But yeah, you're right. We'll see if Petroski can hold him down. I think it's going to be pretty tough, though. Roulston looked raw on the Contender Series. Petroski might cage hug him to a decision, and yeah, that's very much on the table. Cam Roulston for the win. Petroski low-key follows a pretty strategic game plan. Yeah, he does. 8-3 in the UFC. One of his losses being sort of a fluke. I mean, Malkoun got him good with that hip. I wouldn't call it a fluke. I mean, that hip strike, we'll start to see more of those.
And I think he lost that first round against Malkoun too, dude.
Yeah, he did. Oh, he got wobbled by Malkoun in the first round by a jab.
By a jab from Malkoun. I know, dude. This guy's. I mean, that is why it's terrifying to bet on Petroski. Not only the chin, but the conditioning isn't great either, Brady.
Conditioning, the fight IQ, the chin, the short notice, the long travel.
Yeah.
A lot of red flags. I know Roulston KO'd Holmes, but Holmes' defense was absolutely non-existent. Yeah, a lot of people were sucking Holmes' dick, though, that Contender Series fight week. I don't think
he's out there with a rat tail, Brady.
Yeah, that's what did it. But a lot of people were hyping up that Holmes dude. I don't know why. I don't think he has some sort of... Yeah, I don't think he has a ton of power either. Shabazian he bet on the decision prop, clearly. There's no other way around it. I mean, Shabazian literally bet the decision prop or the over. I don't know what the heck that was. I don't know what it was.
Dude, I've really got to stop betting on Petroski fights. I really do.
They're just so hard.
I'm pretty sure in that fight I had Shabazian KO and Petroski by decision.
Oh God, no.
Because I'm like, because like what I said, Brady. Here's what I said. If this fight goes 15 minutes
Mm-hmm.
and Shabazian doesn't knock him out, right? Like how is Petroski going to lose that fight? In order for that to happen, Petroski would have to willingly stand and bang with him.
That's crazy. That's crazy. That's wild. Oh gosh, we're forgetting Petroski got knocked out by Malkoun.
The streets are never forgetting, Dylon. They are never forgetting.
I'm not forgetting. Top 3 wrestlers: Dylon.
Yes, sir.
What is this? We kind of forget to lick your guys' asses, but your work is amazing. Petroski's number is a good one if he didn't have that big travel.
That's a lot.
Kind of a weird first sentence there, but yeah, I would tend to agree. I mean, the path is clear for Petroski, but there are some interesting circumstances involved. We haven't even seen his haircut. Like what haircut is he sporting for this?
He might be the one with pink hair by the time it's all said and done, man.
I don't know. Like I'm going to his Instagram trying to figure it out. All I see is him getting him a very deep tissue massage. Very deep. That's all I see on his Instagram. That's a long massage. That's a very long massage there. Yeah, we don't know. I haven't seen anything. Roulston's a lock. Petroski has no finish upside and shocking cardio. Calling Roulston a lock is kind of crazy. Petroski sounds like he'd hang with Bam Margera. I could see them two hanging out. Petroski's definitely a hipster. Called 100% Brady, no urgency from Petroski, position over anything. Yeah, like we said, that's good. If I'm betting on Petroski, I want that. Not if I'm betting him by finish, though. But yeah, if I'm betting Petroski, I want that. Finney is a better version of Petroski, and even he struggled with Roulston. Finney's like 5'2".
Yeah, and Finney's not a better wrestler than Andre Petroski. If those guys just had a freestyle wrestling match, my money would definitely be on Petroski. Just freestyle wrestling, I'm saying.
I don't know, dude. It's hard to take down a fire hydrant. Have you ever tried to take down a fire hydrant?
Dude, I mean, I actually had a wrestling coach who told me to never, ever try that. Yeah. So he goes, you just don't do that. Like we work on the low center of gravity guys in the wrestling room. Don't try to take down the hydrant. Don't try to take down your refrigerator. It's not going to go well for you. The mailbox on the corner, Brady, don't try to take it down.
Those mailboxes are tough to, especially the ones that are cemented into the ground. That's
like dude, you get a single leg, you start running the pipe and the thing just stays there, It's not good.
Alrighty, let's move on to the next fight. We got Elliot versus Jonathan McAuliffe. We got Elliot, 27 years old, 6 foot with a 72-inch reach. McAuliffe, he is 26 years old, 6 foot with a 77-inch reach. Elliot is going to be 1 year older, got the same height there, and it's going to be McAuliffe with a 5-inch reach advantage. McAuliffe is 5-0 in his last 5 fights. Had a submission win on the Contender Series against Muhammad Adu. Made his debut against Kevin Doucette. Won that fight by decision, pulled off the upset there. As far as Elliot, 4-1 in his last 5 fights. Beat Val Woodburn by decision. Had a decision win on the Contender Series as well. Beat Preston Parsons by decision. Knocked out Basil Hafez. And then had a decision loss to, what's his name?
Suk Young Ko.
So this is one of those, I don't know. I feel like this is a very big market overreaction because do you remember the odds makers were sucking Oban's dick. They were pulling his pants down, pulling out his dick, and they were sucking it. They were sucking his dick. I mean, he was a massive favorite against Val, big favorite against Parsons, a massive favorite against Basil. And then he was like minus 600, 700 against Ko. He was a massive favorite against Ko. So the odds maker sucked his dick in his 4 UFC fights, and now all of a sudden he's a pick'em to Jonathan McAuliffe, and it's interesting. I went back and watched some of these McAuliffe fights, dude. Like he looked nothing like he did in the Doucette fight. Yeah. Chin up in the air, very sloppy, getting dropped multiple times in fights. Like the version we saw in the Giuseppe fight was like a completely different version I've never seen in my entire life. But you go back and watch that fight, he had one weapon the entire time was that big kick to the body, big kick to the head. He even dropped Giuseppe in the first round with that big kick. But outside of that, I'm not sure, what he really offers. He's a very slick grappler, but doesn't have the best wrestling. I don't know. I feel like we might be overhyping McAuliffe a little bit. And I feel like, the odds makers might have stopped sucking Elliot's dick here. We got a very close fight, pick 'em fight here.
Yeah, I mean, like the bunch of throat goats out there in the market last time for Oban Elliot at minus 600 over Suk Young Ko. And it was Suk Young Ko who got sucked off.
Oh.
That was an easy win for him. I mean, if you had money on Ko, man, you were just styling. You knew that he was just winning those rounds easily over Oban, but it's another guy that we're getting a discount on, Brady. So are you willing to go discount shopping? Because Josias Musasa went from being a minus 1,000 favorite to being minus 150. Here we got Oban Elliot around to pick him, right?
Yeah, about to pick him minus 118.
Yeah, so just a very slight favorite over a guy in McAuliffe who's got one UFC fight. And it's a win over Kevin Giuseppe, who's, he's okay.
I think he got cut. Did he get cut? I think he got cut.
Did he get cut? Yeah, because I know he had that win over Kiefer Crosby, so nobody cared. And then he beat Song Kanan, and it was like, who cares about that? And now I think he is gone. I think you're right. I think he might have gotten cut. But even if he didn't, Oban Elliot, we're getting him much cheaper this time around. And I'd be interested to know if there was anything going on with him in that last fight. Did that fight happen in China?
I actually don't believe it did. Let me double check here. So the fight happened in Baku.
Okay, Azerbaijan. So a bit of a weird trip, and now he's making an even longer trip from Wales to Perth. I mean, that's a cruise. So, but yeah, Oban's got more experience. He's got more UFC experience. He's got solid enough wrestling that it didn't look good last time out, obviously. But man, I mean, this is an interesting one, because we are getting a huge discount on Oban from last time around, and I'd just be interested to know if there was anything going on there with him, because it was just it was a terrible performance.
Horrible.
He was never in that fight. So for him to be minus 600 and perform that way, obviously he's coming off the worst performance of his UFC career thus far. That's going to give us a big discount on his money line. The question is, do you want to take it against McAuliffe? How do you think the stylistic components of this fight plays out? Who wins the minutes and moments on the feet? Who's tougher in the clinch? Who's going to be more likely to get takedowns in top time here? So it's an interesting one. This is one of the fights I haven't taped yet, so I don't really have a lean either way right now, and I'm going to further examine the trends.
Yeah, I just think it's interesting how they were sucking his dick. And I always thought Elliot was very overrated. I thought he was extreme. Like I bet the Basil Hafez plus 3.5 against him, and it obviously didn't end well. But yeah, I've always thought they were like always overrating Elliot. And then I just want to know why all of a sudden against Jonathan McAuliffe, it's a pick 'em. I just thought that the line was very interesting on this one. But yeah, Elliot opened up minus 130, went all the way down to minus 220, currently minus 118. McAuliffe opened up plus 110, went to plus 185, and he's currently minus 102. The over-under set at 2.5 rounds. The over is juiced to minus 235, and the under is plus 195 there. Yeah, very interesting stuff. Oban is ass. Co-performance was embarrassing. That was very, very, very embarrassing. Might be a good buy low spot on Elliot. Yeah, potentially. McAuliffe is so tricky to game plan against. Definitely looked like Giuseppe did not game plan for him. I mean, Giuseppe had no answers for that body kick. I mean, he threw that body kick at least 30 times, maybe more.
Yeah, you think there would have been an adjustment there, because it's not like he didn't know that was coming either. You can watch the McAuliffe fight and know that this southpaw is going to throw big kicks. So that was kind of surprising.
It's wild. Ko does look like the real deal. I mean, this Ko guy looks legit. Giuseppe, I think, is pretty overrated.
Yeah. Agreed.
Jonathan McAuliffe definitely likes Smoko. I don't know what that is, but
what is Smoko? I have no idea what that is. I guess it's an Australian thing.
yeah, I don't know. I remember betting Elliot again after his last fight. Wouldn't even do plus 500 against Dumas, and that's why he's a pick him here. I guess people got screwed over in his last fight. I didn't bet the fight. I didn't bet the fight because he was like minus 600.
Dude, I was gonna bet Suk-Hyung Ko plus 3.5 points handicap at plus 200. I didn't feel like writing the bet up, and I said I'm gonna write it up in the morning. And then when I woke up, it was plus 140.
Oh,
so I didn't make the play. That one hurt.
Yeah. Lunch break is. I'm gonna look up the Smoko everybody keeps talking about.
Yeah, what is Smoko? Smoko, Australia.
Let's take a look. Nothing's showing up. Do you see anything?
Okay, in Australian, New Zealand, and Falkland Islands English, a smoko is a short, often informal break taken during work or military duty. Although any short break, such as a rest or a coffee or tea break, could be called a smoko. I'm going to take a smoko, Brady. I'll be right back.
Okay, so that makes sense.
I love it. I love it. And it's not just in Australia and New Zealand where they use this term, also used in the Falkland Islands, Brady.
The Falkland Islands?
The Falkland Islands are once disputed islands off of the, I believe, west coast of South America that there was a war fought over many years ago. I don't know why, but the Falkland Islands, Brady, also uses terminology for a short break known as smoko.
Little bit of a history lesson.
Yeah. Dude, I mean, we do it all here on Stat Diggers, Brady.
We really do.
Yeah.
We really do. All right. Moving on to the next fight. We got our girl, the very handsome Loma Luke Bumig going against Alexia Thionaro. We got Loma, 29 years old, 5'1" with a 61-inch reach. Thionaro, 29 years old, 5'4" with a 67-inch reach. We got the same age there. Thionaro with a 3-inch height advantage and a 6-inch reach advantage. Loma's 4-1 in the last 5 fights. A decision loss to Lupe Godinez. Decision win against Denise Gomes. Submission win against Elise Reed. A decision win against Bruna Brazil. And a decision win against Estela Nunez. As far as Thionaro, she had a decision win against Rose Conceição on the Contender Series. And then a submission win against Molly McCann in her UFC debut. So, yeah, it was interesting. So I remember taping Thionaro for the Contender Series, and I'm watching some of her fights before the Rose Conceição fight. And it's like, her strike, like her chin's up in the air. She's winging like looping shots that are missing by a mile. Like her striking is horrible. And then I'm watching the Rose fight, and it's like, who's this? Who is this? I mean, her striking looks really good. The striking defense has improved. She's landing a ton. She looks good. She looks very good in the stand-up, and she went out there and outstruck Rose Conceição, who's a pretty dang good striker, and did so over the course of 15 minutes, landed well over 100 significant strikes, and she made a ton of improvements, and that's to be expected with somebody who, at the time, she's probably like 27, 28, training with Ribas, the Ribas family gym, but she looked a lot better in the striking, and that's not even the best part of her game. The best part of her game is the grappling. Very slick grappler, and what I like about her in this fight is she's just bigger, much bigger. I quite frankly, I don't know how she makes straw weight. She's going to have a 3-inch height advantage, a 6-inch reach advantage, and I think she's going to use that size to her advantage, can potentially get takedowns here, use that length, the volume on the feet as well. So yeah, I think Thionaro should absolutely be favored in this matchup. Although I do like Loma. I like betting on Loma, picking Loma. But here in this matchup, I got to go with the bigger fighter, the fighter that has more ways to win, and that's Alexia Thionaro. So give me Thionaro to win the fight. It is a steep price tag. She opened up minus 150. She's now minus 235. Loma's plus 200, but I do favor Thionaro in this one.
Yeah, me too, dude. I think Thionaro might be the real deal, Brady. I think we might be looking at a future top 10 straw weight here, maybe even top 5 straw weight. I got to tell you, I was just blown away by, I watch, so we can't watch Thionaro's most recent fight on UFC Fight Pass, right? Because it's not more than a year old. So you have to watch it on Watch MMA Full.
Which, by the way, I'm sick of them. They're freezing my computer on that website. They're bringing up porn games. Like, why do I want to play a porn game? I like games. I like porn, but I don't like porn games. Keep them separate.
Yeah, porn games.
Yeah.
Like, what's the point of the second word?
I don't know.
I don't know either. But and just so you know, Brady, the Brave browser, please just do it. I get no pop-ups on that site. I'm
really,
telling you, man.
From Watch MMA, even with on the Brave app, you get no pop-ups from Watch MMA.
Yeah, none.
Wow. Okay.
None. Never.
Okay.
It moves smoothly. I'm telling you, man. That browser is the best browser for blocking
no porn
pop-ups.
games. No porn games no more.
I've never seen a porn game ever on Watch MMA Full because I use the Brave browser. So I'm telling you, dude, you got to download it.
Yeah, I need to.
Like you were saying that one time, like, I don't want to see you play with your pussy. You're trying to work.
Mm-hmm.
You're trying to work. So who wants to see you play with your pussy? Go do it for somebody else. I'm trying to watch Alexia Thionaro versus Molly McCann. But the reason I brought that up is when you watch it on Watch MMA Full, you get to see the walkout of both fighters. Thionaro is making her UFC debut on less than 2 weeks' notice in England against Molly McCann. And she looks like she is not worried at all. She looks loose. She does a great dance routine on the walkout. She's full of This girl's got a ton of personality. She looks extremely comfortable and confident in the cage. And her grappling game is very good. And like you said, man, you watch the old footage and you're like, oh my God, the striking's so bad. Oh. And then you watch the Conceição fight, and this happens all the time with these Brazilian fighters. They take a little time off between fights. They come back and they look like somebody cloned them and put them in a lab for the last year, and now they're all of a sudden they're killer strikers. So Loma just has no danger factor, Brady. None. She's not going to knock you out on the feet.
She's handsome.
Well, that she is, but that's danger for her lovers. Okay. You know what I'm saying? You walk on that razor's edge right there. If you're going to try to get Loma Lookboonmee in bed, you better have your ducks in a row. You better be organized, Brady, because nobody hands you something like that on a silver platter. That's handsome. But right now, I think Alexia Thionaro might be the even more handsome fighter. Her grappling's a lot more handsome. Her stage presence is a lot more handsome. She's the better dancer, the far better dancer. And I think that she's going to be competitive on the feet. But when this fight gets to the ground, I think Alexia is going to have success getting to Loma's back and potentially finding a submission or just banking rounds with control time and grappling.
Yep. Yep. I lean her way. Don't love the price tag, to be honest, but I lean her way. Thionaro is going to be this week's Garuli. Oh God. I mean, if Loma outstrikes her, it wouldn't really shock me, but maybe. She's way too small. Yeah, she's small, but that really hasn't stopped her. She has a pretty dang good record in the UFC, Loma.
She does, yeah.
Porn. Don't love porn games. Did we watch the same tape? This chick striking is ugly. No, I agree. The earlier fights, it was horrible.
Yeah, especially the earlier stuff. But even like Molly McCann. Molly McCann's a very good striker. She's a great boxer, and she was outboxing girls at 125, Brady. She comes down to strawweight and gets outlanded 5.3 to 3.5 in distance strikes per minute. So she went out there and outstruck, Molly McCann in her last fight in England on short notice. So, I think that there's something there's a lot to be said for that.
Yeah, she's definitely made improvements in the striking. What a handsome fight. I would tend to agree. All right, let's move on to the next fight. We have Navajo Sterling going against Rodolfo Balato. We got Navajo Sterling, 27 years old, 6'4", with a 79-inch reach. Hold up. Somebody said earlier we only have 50 likes.
Yeah.
Which is pathetic.
That is pathetic.
It's pathetic. I might as well be playing porn games right now. Might as well be playing porn games instead of being on here. Only 50 likes. I
Thank
understand.
God we got Avery sponsoring the show, Brady.
Yeah.
Thank God we got Avery sponsoring the show, because these people, 50 likes.
NFL's back. NFL's back. I mean, the Chiefs were playing tonight. I mean, that game sucked. Russell Wilson, get some help. You're getting benched. Bring in Jackson Dart. Russell Wilson had a pathetic game tonight. But yeah, 50 likes.
Yeah, that's pretty pathetic. That's about as pathetic as the New York Giants.
Oh, God.
You know,
Oh,
because it doesn't matter whether it's Russell Wilson or Jackson Butt Dart. the New York Giants are going to suck ass. That's the one thing that we all know, and we know that every goddamn year. The New York Giants are good. When it's all said and done, they're going to suck ass.
Yeah, and we did not offend anyone just now, because I don't believe anybody's a Giants fan. Do they have fans?
I don't know, man. I
They have
don't know.
fans.
I've never met one.
I've never met a Giants fan, so
Yeah.
I don't think we offended anybody. But let's try to get the likes up, guys. Come on, I know football's back, but come on. Anyway, we got Navajo Sterling, Rodolfo Balato. We got Sterling, 27 years old, 6'4" with a 79-inch reach. Balato, 29 years old, 6'3" with a 75-inch reach. We got Sterling 2 years younger, 1-inch height advantage and a 4-inch reach advantage. Sterling 5-0 in his last 5 fights, had a second-round knockout win on the Contender Series, beat Tuco Tokos by decision, and they beat Ivan Erslon by decision. As far as Balato, he is 3-0, 1 and 1 no contest in his last 5 fights. Had a knockout win against Bertaza Taha on the Contender Series in the second round. Knocked out Ihor Peteria in the second round. Had a draw against Jimmy Crute, and then had a no contest against Paul Craig. So, yeah, I'm still scarred from Navajo Sterling's last fight.
Oh.
It was, I had fight ends by knockout. I had Sterling by KO in a parlay. I had Sterling by round 3 KO at like plus 1,000 or greater. And this was over a 10-unit swing for me. And Sterling goes out there and proceeds to knock out Ivan Erslon. He did knock him out. Erslon falls face first into the canvas, and refs are stopping that 9 times out of 10. If you fall face first into the canvas, the way he did, like that's getting stopped, and it didn't get stopped. And I had a meltdown that night, and we've all been there, right? we've all been there. We gamble on the fights. I had a meltdown, and I've had 3 meltdowns this year. The first one was I was going to bet Jocelyn Edwards round 3 all week against Tamara's Vidal. I had it ready. I'm going to bet it round 3. It closed like plus 2,600, plus 2,800. I didn't bet it. And then I see that she finishes Tamara's Vidal in the 3rd round. And I ripped my shirt off. I'm like, what the fuck? Well, I was going to bet it all week. Meltdown. The other meltdown was when I bet on Marcin Tybura against Sergey Spivak. And Marcin Tybura gets armbarred from guard in the 1st round. I turned the TV off. I shut my computer. I don't watch the rest of the fights. And I sat there for over an hour and a half in complete darkness, in complete silence. Like, I can't believe that just happened. I can't believe Marcin Tybura just got submitted by Sergey Spivak. Meltdown number 2. And meltdown number 3 was Navajo Sterling not knocking out Ivan Erslon somehow. Those are my 3 meltdowns this week. But for this fight, I don't know. I mean, I know people give Sterling crap, but I mean, I think he looks pretty decent. I mean, I still have questions about his ground game, and that might be tested here. But his striking looks solid. Good volume, solid cardio. Can kind of push a pace for 3 rounds. And Rodolfo Balato, I don't know about this guy. Like he's a tough dude, but he blocks punches with his face. He kind of comes forward recklessly, and he was getting pieced up badly against Ihor Peteria. I was looking at some of these, distance striking numbers between him and Peteria. Peteria was kind of whooping his ass at distance striking. Peteria outlanded him 38 to 18. He hurt him very, very badly in the 2nd round. That fight very well could have and probably should have been stopped. Like in an alternate universe, Peteria knocked out Balato in the 2nd round, and but he blew his load, and Balato finished him. And then Balato gets outstruck at distance by Paul Craig, 14-9. It's like, I don't know. I feel like Sterling's the much better striker here. Balato kind of blocks punches with his face. If Balato gets on top, he can have success, but I don't think Balato's the best wrestler. So I lean Sterling here, but I'm assuming he's a pretty decent-sized favorite, right? Minus 220 here from Sterling. So I don't know. I like Sterling, but minus 220. It's a little steep. These guys are, light heavyweights at the end of the day. They both hit hard. In theory, Balato does have a big grappling advantage, and Balato does have power in his own right. So I'm not sure I love that minus 220. What are your thoughts on this fight?
Yeah, dude, I know that I had a 1-unit bet on Sterling to win by knockout against Erslon, and I also, it was the 4th leg of the greasy 4-legger, and the other 3 legs cashed. So Sterling not getting that knockout was something, it was something like an 8-unit swing for me.
Oh, yeah.
And ever since then, I've been, I want to come on here and be like, Navajo Sterling has as much power as Loma Luke Boone me. Because I'm just fucking furious with this guy. Like he couldn't get Tacos out of there. He couldn't get Erslon out of there. And he was kind of piecing up Erslon. Erslon's a good boxer, but like Sterling's a kickboxer. So he was just had way more weapons. And yeah, he did fall face first, and the ref didn't stop it. And god damn it, he probably does get the knockout this time, though. I think Sterling will get it this time. He's way better than this guy. This guy Balato's striking is fucking horrible.
Oh God,
it's absolutely horrible. If you're getting pieced up by Ihor Peterior, that's a serious problem at the UFC level. If you're fighting on the Ukrainian regional scene against pretzel vendors named Gennady Gitlin, you're fine. But at this level, it's not going to work if you're getting pieced up by Peterior. So I think that as tempted as I am to be like, oh yeah, Sterling can't knock anyone out, so I'll play his decision prop, or saying like, oh, he's due this time, he's gonna get the knockout this time in Australia. I think minus 220 might. I don't even know if that line's wide enough, because I don't think we can really count on Balato to be a wrestler, can we?
Not really.
And Sterling's takedown defenses look pretty good at this level.
Yeah.
So maybe Sterling just kind of out kickboxes this dude and makes it look pretty easy. I think maybe his money line is a better bet than trying to pick how he's going to get it done here. And yeah, when I taped Balato, I was just like, man, this guy, he leaves so many openings, Brady. He's so hittable, and he's pretty durable though. He actually is. You gotta finish him off. You gotta kill him to get him out of there. And he can Homer Simpson you, man. He Homer Simpson Ihor Peterior.
And kind of Homer Simpson Jimmy Crute. Like he almost got knocked out by Crute.
Yeah, that I feel like Crute kind of got robbed there, man. That was like a 10-8, borderline 10-7 first round. And then round 2 is literally 50-50, and all 3 judges give it to Balato. And then round 3, I think Balato kind of won it, barely. But it was a close enough third round. I was surprised that Crute didn't get that nod there. But yeah, I'm not very high on Balato. I think that Navajo should be able to beat this guy. Keep it standing. If Balato does get a takedown, then just get back up. Don't let him have any success, because if you can keep this in the clinch and at distance striking range, I think he's going to carve him up like Tony Montana carves up communists like Emilio Rebenga in the movie Scarface. So I think it's going to be Sterling here.
Yeah, I think Sterling gets it done too. Yeah, Crute dropped him. Peteria arguably knocked him out, and Paul Craig knocked him out.
Sure did.
Paul Craig knocked him out, which is hilarious. So yeah, Sterling could potentially finish him. We'll see, but I've lost money on Sterling KO 2-3 versus Tokos, and also the KO prop on Earth. So maybe I make it 3 for 3 and lose some money against him knocking out Balato. So they got the total set at 1.5, which is interesting. I kind of think they would be maybe putting it at 2.5 with kind of the way Sterling's been going, but they're kind of onto it. So 1.5, but the over 1.5 is minus 175. The under 1.5 is plus 153 there. Went big on KC minus 5.5. Well, that hit with very flying colors. That was a horrible game. It was terrible. Just terrible. Let's see. Sterling has got to get this KO right. He'll probably drop him and then not finish him. Probably drop him 3 times. I know I'm going to bet on Malcolm Wellmaker maybe 2 more times. Hey, we haven't had any Wellmaker news recently, have we?
I don't think we have any fights announced from Malcolm yet.
Hopefully,
no, he did get a big name, didn't he?
Did he?
Let me look. No, the last big name he got was Chris Montino. So we're still waiting. We're still waiting for the next one, but maybe something before the end of the year. Hopefully, that'd be really cool because
That'd be
that
nice.
kid's got a lot of hype on him right now, and the performances have looked phenomenal so far.
Balato is so hittable. Yeah, his strategy is like it is like a Homer Simpson. Like come forward, hit me in the face, and try to knock me out. And if not, I'm gonna beat you down the stretch. I don't know. I don't know what he's doing in there. Sterling decision, I guess, but he's meh. Guy stinks. His power isn't bad, I guess, but he's so stiff. May God have mercy on anybody parlaying combo Sterling. Maybe we put him in the stat tickers parlay. I don't know. We'll see.
I think he wins this fight, man. I'd be surprised if Balato outpointed him.
I mean, he's definitely not going to outstrike him. He'd have to either knock him out or take him down.
Yeah.
But yeah, I don't know. I don't think Balato's that great. All right, we'll move on to the next. Speaking of not great, holy crap. Justin Taffa versus Louis Sutherland. We got Taffa, 31 years old, 6 foot with a 74-inch reach. Sutherland, 31 years old, 6'3" with a 76-inch reach. Same age there. Sutherland with a 3-inch height advantage and a 2-inch reach advantage. We got Taffa, who is 2-2 and 1 no contest in his last 5 fights. Knockout win against Parker Porter. No contest against Austin Lane. Knockout win against Austin Lane. Decision loss to Carl Williams and a knockout loss to Ellison Teixeira. As far as Sutherland, he has 4-1 in his last 5 fights, making his debut here. And this fight makes no sense to me. Like, why are we cutting Martin Bedoya, who's like 8-1 in the UFC? Why are we cutting Jairzinho Rozenstruik? And why do we have these two on the roster? Like, I can't think. Can you think of a heavyweight on the roster right now that is worse than Justin Taffa or Louis Sutherland? Can you think of a current UFC heavyweight that's worse?
They cut Chase Sherman, right?
They cut Chase Sherman. I can't think of a worse one than these two.
I mean, even Muhammad Usman's got a couple of wins.
I mean, maybe Chris Barnett.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, like a lot of these guys, like Fat Barnett, maybe Fat Collier, if he made a comeback.
I think Collier might have got cut, unfortunately. I think.
Yeah, dude. And there's some bad heavyweights. There's definitely bad heavyweights, but we just got Louis Sutherland in the organization now, who's actually bigger than Taffa. I'm surprised by that. He's 3 inches taller. He's got a 2-inch reach advantage. I'm kind of surprised. He doesn't look like a big dude.
Taffa's 5'9". He's lying. Taffa's one of these guys that is lying about their height.
He's listed at 6 feet.
Yeah, I don't know about that. I think he's pulling a Rozenstruik on it. I don't think he's 6 foot. I don't think. But yeah, I don't know. I mean, this is 1-800 Gambler for me. I mean, it's a straight pick 'em pretty much. Actually, Taffa's slightly favored, which tells you everything you need to know. I mean, if Taffa's favored in a fight, I mean, Sutherland has to be pretty bad. I don't think he's that great. You know, what I do like about Sutherland, I think he has bad cardio, but I think he has the better cardio. He has, some wrestling upside, some clinching upside. He's very tough. He's very durable. So I lean the Sutherland side at dog money, but I mean, there's no way I'm betting on this guy. There's no way I'm betting on this fight. So yeah, I'm staying far away from this one. And quite frankly, it's a shame that this fight's on the main card. I think it's the worst fight on the card. I think this fight could even potentially go to decision as well. It could be a sloppy, greasy heavyweight fight that goes the distance. What are your thoughts on this one?
I agree about the going to decision part. I could easily see this fight going to decision. I mean, Sutherland's been to decision 5 times in 13 fights, which is kind of wild, Sutherland will mix in the wrestling every once in a while. I saw him get a takedown against Matusalem Santos in the second round. I saw him go to the wrestling in a couple other fights a little bit, but I think that this fight mostly stays standing. And there, I think Taffa's the better counter puncher. I think he's going to be probably a little bit more accurate. Everything that Sutherland throws comes from the right side. He's got no left hook. He's got no jab. He throws an overhand right, and he throws big kicks with his right leg. So Taffa, if he wants to win this fight, he can just move towards towards the opposite direction of Sutherland's right hand, and he'll never get hit with anything that changes this fight. Potentially, I guess Sutherland can maybe win some minutes on top if he's able to get a takedown or two, which I've seen him do a couple of times, but I don't think we can really count on it. And I mean, I don't want to have money on Justin Taffa. I don't think that's a smart play at all. I mean, like, yeah, this is a greasy ass fight.
Yeah. I was watching Southern. I'm like, oh.
I saw him in some pocket exchanges, and like the way that he was throwing his punches, it looked like his eyes were closed. Like I don't
bet they were.
They might have been, man. I mean,
jeez,
it's a bit of a mess, dude.
It's disgusting. But yeah, I mean, we got Taffa, who opened up -150. He's currently -120. Sutherland opened up +130, currently +100. The over-under set at 1.5 rounds. The over 1.5 -150. The under 1.5 is +130. And the problem with this over-under is it's either going to look sweat-free or you're going to look like an idiot betting the over.
Yeah. Yeah, you bet an over here, it could end quick. You know, these guys are built like mailboxes, both of them.
Yeah, it's the biggest pass on the card for me. Is that an actual fight? Barnett Hamdi? What a fight, if so. Chris Barnett, Hamdi, Abdul-Wahab. What a fight.
That would be awesome because Hamdi doesn't wrestle anymore. He's an Olympic wrestler who now counts on his horrible striking to losing minutes. It's just unbelievable, man.
Yeah, some people don't like to use their best, like Melissa Mullins. Great grappler, great ground and pound.
Yeah.
No, she's a striker now. Horrible one, but she's a
horrible
striker.
One at that. Yeah.
Yeah.
Shelesniakova just lighting her up.
I'm lighting my TV up with
it's like
punches.
She even had fought her before.
Yeah.
And in that fight, she got lit up on the feet, got a takedown and won the fight, and then chose to stand. And I mean, just unbelievable.
That was the same card where Irina Alexeyeva decided to test her newly found striking too for 15 minutes.
Did not go well.
No.
And now they got Irina Alexeyeva matched up against Bea Mesquita in Rio de Janeiro. Man, it's gonna be a fucking whitewash.
Good. She deserves it for what she did. Taffa did miss weight. Did miss weight. Fight goes the distance, might be a good bet. Sutherland likes to clinch hug, which might be a good strategy here. He does a little bit of clinching, a little bit of hugging. I could see that. This is why heavyweight is so flimsy. You get 2 KOs, you get a title.
Yeah.
Greasy. Yeah, it's greasy.
Yeah, it really
Very
is.
Greasy. We got Daz saying, I missed the whole show. Who needs help? You can go back in and rewind. It's all good. Kelvin Gastelum.
Yeah. We got Michelle Pereira, the captain of the yacht, and then we got Kelvin Gastelum. He's the captain of the gravy boat.
Yeah, he missed weight by 10 pounds last fight? A lot.
I mean, he weighed in at 191.
Oh, gosh.
Oh, welterweight.
Crazy. Did they cut him yet? I mean, that's
they didn't cut him. He got a win, actually, over Stoltzfus.
I thought they might cut him after missing weight. I mean, that was like his 4th or 5th miss.
Yeah, but then they just have to pay him what's left on his contract, and I think it'd be a lot of money. I think they're just going to feed him to people like Pfeiffer for the rest of his career before they cut him.
Yeah. Brady, can you sing a tune for my girlfriend? She doesn't believe you can sing. Well, if we get 150 likes, I'll sing.
There you go. I
mean, is that too much to ask? 150 likes?
I didn't think it was.
But we'll see. So, yeah, 150 for us, and I'll sing a tune. But you guys got some work to do. All right, let's move on to the next fight. It is going to be Tom Nolan going against Charlie Campbell. We got Tom Nolan, 25 years old, 6'3" with a 73-inch reach. We got Charlie Campbell, 30 years old, 6 foot with a 72.5-inch reach. Got Nolan 5 years younger, 3-inch height advantage, half-inch of reach advantage. I think, Tom Nolan is 4-1 in his last 5 fights. He had a knockout win against Bogdan Grad, knockout loss against Nicholas Mota in his debut, a knockout win against Victor Martinez, decision win against Alex Reyes, and a decision win against Slava Borshev. As far as Charlie Campbell, 4-1 in his last 5 fights. Knockout loss to Chris Duncan on the Contender Series. Knocked out Alex Reyes and then won a decision against Trevor Peek his last time out. It's been a while since we've seen Charlie Campbell. I mean, that Peek fight was how long ago at this point?
Oh, he's on a super long layoff, and don't forget that Tom Nolan had another opponent.
So
do you remember that dude, that heavyweight that came back and won the fight in the 3rd round a couple of weeks ago on Contender Series?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Yep.
And he was the Ray Longo guy?
Yeah, Long. Yeah.
Charlie Campbell was there for that fight. Charlie Campbell was in the audience for that fight, and I think he had just accepted this fight against Nolan that week. So this is a short notice fight here for Charlie Campbell, making the flight from New York to Perth.
Oh, okay. Very interesting. Well, we talked about their heights. We talked about I think what we really need to talk about is their dick sizes, because I feel like this is going to be just a dick swinging contest between these two.
It absolutely is, man. I can't wait for this fight. This is probably my favorite fight on the card, actually.
I mean, how can it not be? I mean, what else would it be? Would it be Jimmy Crute, Ivan Erslon?
Yeah, I mean that'll be a fun fight. But it's not a lot of these fights. I'll tell you that it's not Thicknesse Musasa.
Oh,
it's not a few of these fights, but this one's going to be really exciting. Nolan looked phenomenal last time out against Slava Borshev, and he got a win against Alex Reyes the time before that. Charlie Campbell, good win over Trevor Peek, but he's on almost an 18-month layoff here, Brady. So there's got to be some injury concerns for the 30-year-old Charlie Campbell coming into this fight. A little bit of short notice, long layoff, long trip to Perth. So I think I'm leaning towards the Nolan side just based on some of the narrative issues on this fight, the home field advantage type of thing, the recent, Tom Nolan's been more recently active than Charlie Campbell, but I think it's a really hard fight to predict. Both of these guys are fucking hittable. Both of these guys don't have the best defense, and both of these guys have got a ton of power, and both of these guys can actually find some submissions. I think Charlie Campbell's grappling game is a little bit underrated, but because he mostly just knocks dudes out. But Tom Nolan was showing some really good front chokes in the Slava Borshev fight too.
So you're leaning Nolan?
I'm leaning Nolan.
Well,
maybe
this picture will change your mind.
Okay.
Look at that. Shoulder pads with
Campbell, or that's Charlie.
That's Charlie. It looks like some shoulder pads with some big spikes on it.
Dude, is that how they play football in New York, dude? Because they don't let you wear that in the Midwest in a football game.
Which brings me to my next point. Will they let him bring that in the cage? Because if they let him bring those spikes into the cage, I think we got to lean his way, right?
Yeah, I mean, because Tom Nolan's going to have to go for takedowns if that's the case.
Yeah, those are some big spikes.
Like, you're not trying to box somebody with big spikes coming out of their shoulders.
No. See, I think it comes down to who has the bigger dick. I don't know. I wish we had that information, but yeah, I think these guys are going to swing dicks. What kind of interests me is the total, but there's been a couple fights with these guys where it's like, how the hell did Tom Nolan and Alex Reyes go to decision? Like, the fight doesn't go as minus 1,000 there, and that fight went the distance. How did Tom Nolan, Slava Borshev, how did that go the distance? And then on the flip side, Charlie Campbell, how the hell did Campbell Peek go the distance? So
well, Peek's stupid durable and stupid tough, and Slava Borshev is stupid durable and stupid tough. So that's how they went. But Alex Reyes,
that makes no sense.
Tom Nolan, Alex Reyes was something like minus 1,000. Fight doesn't go. Am I right about that?
Oh yeah, it was. It was 100%.
It was crazy that fight went the full 15 minutes. So
that was also during the non-violence era, though.
Yeah,
where we had no violence. So I kind of like I kind of feels like the under 2.5 at minus 145 could be a gift with these two. It could be a gift, or they could drop each other 5 times and it goes to decision somehow as well. But I don't see much grappling. Do you? Like, you think Campbell might try to take down Nolan?
I could see maybe both of them looking for some takedowns and stuff like that, because Nolan in particular, I think he's a BJJ brown belt, and I really liked what I saw. Every time that Slava was getting back to his feet, this guy was locking onto front chokes. And he's got those super long arms. He's really tall and long for the division. So, I mean, yeah, I like the under here. I like that under 2.5 at minus 145. overpriced by about 13% when you compare the price of the line to the long-term trend for the division. But both of these guys are finishers, and we've seen these guys finished as well. So I think it's stylistically, I'm looking for violence here.
Yeah, I don't hate it. I don't hate it. And that's a good point. Slava is really durable. Like to finish Slava, you gotta tap him out.
Yeah. I mean, he's never going to quit. That's the thing.
Yeah.
He will eat punches with his face. He will get fucking mauled on the ground, but you got to kill him to get him out of there.
Yep. And Peak is, I don't think anybody's ever going to finish Trevor Peak.
Death will finish him eventually at some point, but outside of that, man, that dude's not quitting ever.
I think Campbell smokes him, and that could happen. I mean, don't forget, Wheezy, Victor Martinez dropped Tom Nolan.
That's right, dude. I did forget about that. Oh my God, the streets never forgot about that, but your Uncle Wheezy did forget about that.
Victor Martinez. I remember I bet on Nolan by KO or ITD, and he gets dropped by Victor Martinez. I'm just like shocked. Shocked.
No. Yeah, that's where you're like, no.
But yeah, both guys hittable. Both guys a little chinny. Both guys have a lot of power. It does seem to equal some violence. Nobody beats. Oh, we got Barnett in the building. Nobody beats me in a dick swinging contest. Okay.
Oh yeah, man.
Hard to compare D sizes with that damn metric system. Yeah, it's tough.
It is.
It's tough.
Shout out Jack Tripper.
Yeah, I don't know what he's doing with those spikes. I don't know. I've never seen anything like that. Why are you wearing shoulder pads, Charlie Campbell? I don't get it. Should we? I don't know. Should we like this? Should we want to bet on him, or should we want to bet against him for this?
I don't know, dude, because he's got time to take pictures, but this dude hasn't been in the cage in 18 months. So it's like, are you at the studio taking glamour shots?
I guess that's his thing. Like he has a T-shirt with those shoulder pads on the T-shirt too. It looks like. I guess that's his. Yeah. See, look, he has the shoulder pads there.
Oh yeah.
What?
It's a yoga class.
He says inner peace is overrated.
Love
That's
it.
Hilarious. Shout out Charlie Campbell.
It's gonna be such a fun fight, man.
Look at this. You've got to be kidding me. He's out of protein powder. Look at this. Bring your hands back to your chin. He's in the shoulder pads. I wonder if he's gonna weigh in with those shoulder pads. I guess that's his thing.
Maybe he will, but he won't make weight if he actually has those things on, you know?
Yeah, I bet they weigh at least 15, 20 pounds.
Yeah, those have got to be heavy.
Yeah, I don't know what he's been doing outside of making comics.
Yeah, did he have any canceled fights? Because I didn't see.
I don't know.
Because, like, you know, usually when you see a layoff that long, you'll see, like, somebody pulled out of a fight. You know, and you'd be like, okay, they pulled out of the fight. They were injured. He pulled out of a Mauricio Hoofy fight in November of 2024.
Well, that's smart. That was a smart pull.
Yeah. And we haven't seen him since then. So there was probably an injury in November of 2024 that's kept him from fighting for almost a year.
Yeah. Very interesting stuff. But all right, we'll move on to the next fight. We have Jake Matthews going against Neil Magny. You got Jake Matthews, 31 years old, 5'11" with a 73-inch reach. Neil Magny, 38 years old, 6'3" with an 80-inch reach. We got Matthews 7 years younger. Magny with a 4-inch height advantage and a 7-inch reach advantage. We got Jake Matthews 4-1 in his last 5 fights. A decision or submission win against Darius Flowers. A decision loss to Michael Morales. A decision win against Philip Rowe. A decision win against Francisco Prado, a submission win against Chidi Njokwani. As far as Neil Magny, 2-3 in his last 5 fights, decision loss to Ian Gary, knockout win against Mike Malott, knockout loss to Michael Morales, knockout loss to Carlos Praches, and a knockout win against Elizu Zaleski dos Santos. So we got to give Jake Matthews some credit. He's doing a couple things we haven't seen from him yet in the UFC. He's been in the UFC for a long time. It seems like after all the years of being in here, because he's been in the UFC for a while, he's seeming to finally put it together. For the first time ever, Jake Matthews is showing consistency. We've never seen consistency out of Jake Matthews, ever. I mean, he was known as one of the most inconsistent fighters in the UFC for a very long time. Yeah. Sometimes he'll show up, look like $1 million, and sometimes he'll show up and look horrible. but we're seeing consistency. And not only that, we're seeing wins that mean something. I mean, a lot of his wins early in his career have aged horribly. The guys that he's beating, they're getting cut. They're no longer in the promotion. But now he's beating Phil Rowe. That's a good win. He's beating Chidi and Jaquani. That's a good win. Even the loss against Michael Morales, that was a good loss. And that was a pretty competitive fight as well. I think Jake Matthews, after a very long time, has finally figured it out. But the question is, will Jake Matthews get sucked into the Magnyverse? Will Magny suck him in to that Magnyverse like he did to Mike Malott, losing 14 minutes and 30 seconds of that fight, and then getting a third-round TKO, like to poor Elias Zaleski dos Santos? I remember watching that fight. I had a bet on dos Santos, and I was checking the live odds, right, in the second round. I'm like, oh, wow, Zaleski minus 600. Minus 600. Nice. I'm feeling good about my bet. And then the odds vanish. I'm like, oh, sweet. Zaleski got the finish. Nice. No. Zaleski got reversed. They took the odds off, and then Magny finished him shortly after. Got sucked into the Magnyverse. Zaleski got sucked into the Magnyverse. So the question I'll pose to you is, Jake Matthews going to get sucked off into the Magnyverse this Saturday?
If there's anybody that can manage to do it, it's Jake fucking Matthews, dude. This guy's done it over and over again. He's just he drops the ball sometimes in big situations. And I know I bet against Matthews last time out against
Chidi.
Yeah, against Chidi. And the reason I did was because, I thought that Chidi would probably be the better striker, but I also thought he'd maul him in the clinch. And they got into the clinch, and then Matthews just hit a beautiful judo foot sweep. Chidi went to all fours, and Jake just jumped on his back. And right there, I knew it was over. And look, I mean, if Jake Matthews gets Neil Magny down, he's going to submit him. Neil Magny's got some of the worst grappling that there is in this division right now in terms of submission grappling. He's been submitted a number of times, and we've seen Jake Matthews win by submission a lot. Jake Matthews has 6 of his 15 UFC wins come by submission. And for Neil Magny, it's 5 of his 9 UFC losses in 3 rounds.
Gosh.
Yeah, that have been losses by submission. So according to my model, the sub prop should be priced probably around plus 150 for Jake Matthews. I'm not joking about that. That is something that I think we might be able to get plus 200 or better when it opens.
Oh, easily.
Netflix, maybe.
Easily, yeah.
But like where my model says it should be priced, says it should be priced probably around plus 150, plus 140. Not joking about that. So
I believe it.
Yeah. So it's going to be interesting because, we know that Neil can win minutes in the clinch. He's very good there, and Jake is not very good there. And, if Jake doesn't look for those takedowns or find like a good foot sweep in the clinch like he did against Chidi, or find a way to get this fight to the ground, I mean, of course, I think he can win minutes on the feet against Magny. That shouldn't be a problem. Matthews is a very good striker. I just worry because he's never really shown good fight IQ, Brady. I mean, the performance against Chidi was phenomenal just because he got that trip, and from there he was able to finish the fight immediately. But this is not a guy who's been a surgical minute winner at this level. And if you're not that against Neil Magny, you either need to take him down and submit him, or you need to hurt him on the feet numerous times. Because if you don't, he just he closes that distance. He doesn't get tired. If he winds up on top, his ground and pound is phenomenal. And I mean, we just saw it happen. We saw it happen against Elizu. We saw it happen against Mike Malott. If you get tired against this guy and you get sloppy looking for a takedown and this guy winds up on top of you, he can find the finish. Neil Magny's done it a number of different times. Let's look at let me real quick here. I want to see what Neil Magny's historical profitability has been in terms of betting line information here, because Neil Magny is 23-12 in the UFC with an average betting line of plus 106 and a return on investment of 30%. That's over a 35 fight sample size, Brady. And as an underdog, he's 10-9 with an average betting line of plus 205 and a 38.5% ROI. Another real quick thing that we got to talk about here is that Neil Magny's got a positive 1.4 clinch and ground strike differential, while for Jake Matthews, it's positive 0.6. But what really catches my eye is that Jake Matthews has been outlanded in the clinch 96-65 over his 22 UFC fights, while Neil Magny has outlanded his opponents in the clinch 268-96. So I just think it's really important that Jake Matthews, who I think is around a minus 500 favorite or so, Brady, he can't wind up fighting Neil Magny's fight here, man. He's got to be looking for takedowns. He's either got to keep this in the center of the cage or it's got to be on the mat. Because the second this thing starts getting outside that octagon line that is just outside the cage, that's where Neil Magny is going to be able to close distance and win minutes and use his size advantage in order to potentially win minutes and bank rounds. So I think that Magny's got a path here, and he's got a big plus money number next to his name.
Yeah, I mean, he could take him to the Magnyverse.
Yep.
Yeah. For me, I mean, the books are so sharp. I mean, because I think Matthew should be a minus 400 favorite, but they're on to it. I wasn't expecting it, to be honest, because people typically are like, yeah, Matthew, how can you trust Matthews? But they're definitely onto it. I think Magny's been on his way out. But yeah, it was a great comeback win against Zaleski, but Zaleski's 40. Zaleski gassed out. Yeah. Jake Matthews doesn't really have bad cardio. And the only time he's really showed bad cardio was, I guess, in the Brady fight. But
yeah. Check this out, Brady. Check this out. Last 5 fights for Neil Magny. Plus 135 against Zaleski. Plus 525 against Carlos Prates. Plus 580 versus Michael Morales. Plus 293 versus Mike Mallet. Plus 380 versus Ian Gary. The market lost faith in Neil Magny a long time ago. But if you've backed him over these last 5 fights and you've with a 1-unit bet each time, you won 2.93 units against Malott. You won 1.35 units against Zaleski dos Santos. And that means that you came out more than a unit up over 5 units and over 20% ROI fighting guys like Prates, Morales, Malott, and Gary. And now he's getting a step down from those guys going to Jake Matthews. So, yeah, maybe Magny cashes again. Do you have the balls to bet him, though? That's the question.
Well, I did cash on Magny against Malott, but that's because Malott has no cardio.
Yeah.
I got the round 3 at like plus 3,000. And then I had the round 3 sub at plus 10,000. And then he TKO'd him. Would have been like a 10-unit win if he would have just grabbed his neck.
Oh, man, that would have been something else. That would have been a huge one.
But yeah, it was still a pretty big hit there. Yeah, Matthews I think he's starting to finally put it together a little bit. Matthews would have to just buy a yacht to lose this. Yeah, Matthews is the biggest favorite on the card by a mile. Like, there's not really a ton of big favorites on this card. Yeah, I mean, there's only one favorite that's greater than minus 300, and it's Matthews.
I like it.
Yeah, we'll see if he fucks this one up. Matthews is a no bet for me as a big favorite. Waiting for the inside the distance prop. Yeah, another point I was going to make. I mean, the books are sharp, man. I mean, I was expecting the over to be completely juiced, but it's not. The over 2.5 is minus 145. The under 2.5 is plus 125 in a Jake Matthews Neil Magny fight. Like they're sharp, man. They're sharp.
It's easy for them to be sharp. They got a 53 fight sample size to work with between Magny and Matthews since the year 2013. So, like, I'm looking at my model right now, and these guys priced it right where it should be priced. If you just if you look into how these guys have been finished and finished, so yeah, they nailed it.
They know, yeah, they're sharp, man. Over 2.5 is plus 120, so inside the distance is probably plus 180, plus 200, sub likely plus 250. Yeah, we'll have to look at the props. I don't think they're going to be that great, though. Matthews has a big power advantage, too, in my opinion, on the feet.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, Magny's really, especially at this stage of his career, he's really good in the clinch. And I was annoyed. Like, I bet on Zaleski, and he was fighting Magny in the clinch in the first round, and he was winning that fight in the clinch. But it's like, you're going into the Magnyverse. Yes, you're winning it, but you're going to tire out, and that's exactly what happened. Don't go into the Magniverse. Don't go into the clinch. Keep it at range or get the fight down to the ground. Let's see. After Chidi, is there any more favorable opponent than Neil? Plenty. There's plenty of favorable opponents in the division. I don't see it. Magny won by Homer Simpsoning Malott and Zaleski dos Santos. Matthews is to get everywhere, finally getting into his prime. Yeah, it took him a while. I mean, when did Matthews get into the UFC? Was it 2013,
I believe.
Yeah, 2013 or 2014, a long time ago.
14. You were right.
By Deshaun Johnson. Made his debut against Deshaun Johnson. Flyboy. Who?
Deshaun Flyboy Johnson on the card that was headlined by James Tahuna and Nate Marquardt. What?
Yes. Shout out James Tahuna. We have to get him on the show one of these days.
The venerable James Tahuna, a Pacific Islander legend.
I always like to go back and look at Jake Matthews' wins and just laugh. Like some of these wins, man.
I know.
Like, who is
Akbar Areola? That sounds like a fake name, dude.
That is a fake name. Like, I guess the Leech is a good win, but Shinsu, Enzai,
the animal.
Yeah, I don't know.
Rostam Akman had like a hair shirt.
Jeez, one of the hairiest guys in UFC history.
Yeah,
Emil Meek. Remember Emil Meek?
Yeah. Oh yeah, Emil Meek. Yeah, the Swedish guy. Yeah.
Oh gosh. But I don't know. Let's see. But here's another way of looking at it, though. Malott was handing him his ass and just completely folded. Yeah, I mean, I thought Malott won 14 minutes and 30 seconds of that fight. Very, very wild.
He got reversed with, I think, a minute left in the fight, and then he just got put on the bottom, and Neil just started unloading with ground and pound, and Malott didn't have enough left in the tank to get out of there.
Yeah. Same thing with Zaleski. He got on top, and Zaleski just had nothing left. He went into the Magniverse, and once you go in the Magniverse, you don't get out. Just ask D-Rod. Ask Mike Malott. And
ask Phil Rowe.
Yeah, that fight was awful. I mean, that fight was terrible.
But it wound up in the clinch the entire damn time. And I remember, like, the announcers were like, why is Rowe not getting out of this clinch? That's the only place you don't want to be with this guy.
That was the fight where they both looked exactly the same.
Yeah.
the same hairstyle. They're both long and lengthy. They look I don't know how the judges were able to decipher that one.
There have been a couple of times where I've been trying to tape Asian fighters, Brady, and I'll go to the Asian regional scene and be like, okay, here's what the Asian guy looks like. And then it's a Chinese fight, so you can't tell who's who because it's in characters that you can't read. And I remember like 2.5 minutes into the fight, I'm like, I don't even know which one of these guys is the guy that I'm supposed to be taping.
Yeah, it's tough. It's tough sometimes. Very tough.
It is. And Rowe and Magny looked exactly alike, dude. That was wild.
Yeah. We got Nate saying, love the show, guys. Have a great night. You as well, Nate. Have a great night. All right, let's check the likes. Remember, if we get 150, I'm going to sing a tune.
There we go.
And we have 89. Ugh.
Hey.
Kind of makes me just want to go to bed. 89.
Oh, God, dude, it is late, too.
I got to get up early. I have a new puppy. Got a new puppy.
Yeah.
And I have a 1.5-year-old kid that wakes up at 6:30. I probably should just go to bed, right? 89 likes.
Oh, God, yeah. I'll just take us through the last 3 fights. You go to bed, Brady. You go to bed. You've done enough today.
Oh, imagine.
You're trying to potty train not only a baby but also a dog too. You know, so it's a lot of work.
You know what my kid did today?
What?
He shit in the garage.
Just in the garage, on the floor in the garage?
Just on the floor in the garage.
That's wow.
Yeah. Is that what kids do? They shit in garages? Is that what I signed up for?
I don't know, man. That's wild. Like, I'd have to ask any of my buddies that have kids. Like, did your kid ever shit in the garage?
Yeah, just in the garage, on the floor.
How about that? Because you can't blame that on anyone else, you know? I mean, you know it's not the 6-week-old puppy.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah, so that happened. So it's been a long day. You know, people are shitting in garages, puppies are pissing on the floor. But I'll continue because I do want to talk about this next fight, and it is going to be none other then our guy, Jimmy.
Yes.
Does he still go by the Brute?
The Brute Crute.
Nice. Jimmy the Brute Crute versus Ivan Erslon. We got Crute, 29 years old, 6'2" with a 74-inch reach. We got Erslon, 33 years old, 6'3" with a 75-inch reach. We got Crute 4 years younger. Erslon with a 1-inch height advantage and a 1-inch reach advantage. Jimmy Crute is 1, 2, and 2 draws in his last 5 fights. Knockout loss to Jamal Hill. A draw against Alonzo Menafield. A submission loss to Alonzo Menafield. A draw against Rodolfo Balato. And then a submission win against Marcin Prachnio. As far as Erslon, 2 and 3 in his last 5 fights. Made his debut against Iwan Kudalaba. Lost that fight by decision. And then lost the decision to Navajo Sterling. So this is an interesting fight. So I had a max bet on Jimmy Crute against Marcin Prachnio. I love the bet. I loved it, and I cashed the bet. But I went back and watched it today, and I was like, oh my gosh. I mean, Jimmy Crute looks terrible. Like he looked kind of washed. He would throw his combinations and just kind of stand there. He doesn't move his head. His chin's up in the air, and Prachnio caught him a bunch of times on the feet. But he was able to get down Prachnio a couple times and eventually sub him. But I'm kind of worried about Jimmy Crute. This guy, I don't think he's all there. I don't think he's the smartest guy, mentally. And, he's been dealing with some outside of the cage issues. He retired from the sport for a couple of years. He came back. And remember on the one show we had where I was talking about my max bet, people were giving me crap for it. Somebody said that they saw Jimmy Crute drinking at a bar. And I thought it was a joke, but somebody actually hit me up and was like, Jimmy Crute, does have like a drinking problem, apparently. Apparently, Crute has like a bunch of issues going on. I'm worried about Jimmy Crute. And it's kind of sad, man. I mean, this guy had a ton of skill. This guy submitted Paul Craig in the 3rd round, knocked out Modestus, and then just went all bad from there. Getting knocked out by Anthony Smith, Jamal Hill, and he didn't win a fight for almost 5 years, but he finally won it against Marcin Prachnio. And now he's going against Ivan Erslon, who I just don't think that is that great. I'm not really sure what Erslon's that good at, to be honest. I'm not sure what he's good at. I guess he has some power, some decent striking. Yeah, some solid boxing.
Yeah.
Does train at an American Top Team, which is nice to see as well. But I don't know. I worry about what happens though if Crute's not able to finish, Erslon in the 1st round, because we saw in the Menafield fight it went very poorly. We saw both Menafield fights. We saw in the Balato fight had nothing left after the 1st round. And what would have happened if he didn't submit, Prachnio after the 1st round? So, yeah, I laid the juice on Crute in his last fight against Prachnio, but I did that because Prachnio just has no power. He has no finishing ability, where Erslon, he actually does. So I'm kind of worried about Jimmy Crute here. I feel like he should win this fight, but I feel like it could go pretty poorly for him. I mean, he doesn't move his head. He has to have the worst striking defense I've ever seen. I'm interested to know his distance striking defense, Wheezy.
Yeah, Crute's distance striking defense is 44%.
It's what?
44%.
Dude, have you seen a worse distance striking defense than 44%?
I mean, I think I've seen it before. I do think that I've seen lower than that before, but that's pitiful.
Shockingly low. That's shockingly low. God.
That's 13% worse than the divisional average. The 205-pound division, people are landing strikes at about 43%, which means that the average defense is around 57%. This guy's defense is at 44%. And I saw the exact same thing, and it's against somebody like Erslon. Now, here's the thing about Erslon. He's about as one-dimensional as it comes, Right, yeah. The guy can grapple like a little bit. Like, if you try to take him down and you're sloppy, he'll wind up on top of you. And when he gets on top of you, he can land some ground and pound and win some minutes while there. And he can stuff some takedowns as well, too. But he also will get taken down at times. He will lose some minutes on the ground at times. He's got an okay ground game. But this guy, I've never seen this guy throw a kick. It's crazy. He only throws hands. So it's like, you saw in the Sterling fight, he just wasn't able to really close the distance against Sterling. He was getting picked apart there. And against Kudalaba, he lost rounds 1 and 2 pretty clearly. And then round 3, he got a takedown and easily won the round, but it was too late. 29-28, easy win for Kudalaba. So I'm just not very impressed right now by Erslon because he's one-dimensional. He's kind of got a big right hand and not much else, man. And he needs to close that distance against Crute, who's probably going to be shooting some takedowns. And Crute's got the better long-range weapons. He throws a lot more kicks. He's got way better kicks than Ivan Erslon. He throws more volume than Ivan does. He's got a better strength of schedule, having 9 more fights at the UFC level than Ivan Erslon does. So I just think that Crute's got way more ways to win this fight. I think he's the better wrestler. I think he's the better submission grappler. I like his cardio. And I think that he's got a big strength of schedule advantage here. And in addition, you got Ivan Erslon going all the way from beautiful Zagreb, Croatia, all the way to Perth, Australia for this fight when Jimmy the Brute Crute is already in Australia. So hometown fight for Crute as well. I think he's got way more ways to win this fight. So I got to pick him to win. But what's the line?
Minus 175 for Crute.
Shit, man, I don't mind that. I like we've been seeing a bunch of favorites that have been overpriced recently, and I'm seeing like on this card, I feel like Sterling isn't expensive enough. I feel like Brando Perisic might not be expensive enough. I feel like Petroski might not be expensive enough. Thionaro might not be expensive enough. Sterling might not be expensive enough. And this is another one where I think that you can make an argument for Crute minus 250 just based on like how does Erslon win the fight? Is he going to knock him out? Because I don't think he outminutes him anywhere.
I don't know. I mean, I don't know. I feel like Crute could
This
absolutely.
striking defense is terrifying, though.
I mean, I just can't get that Prachnio fight. I know it's Prachnio. Like Prachnio's, I don't think Prachnio's good, but just the way Crute looked. Why? It looked like he was fighting underwater. I mean, it just looked so bad. So I guess Crute can maybe take him down, but does he have the cardio to do it for 15 minutes? No. And then on the feet, I guess it could be like a sloppy, like the Balato fight it could be like a sloppy decision. I don't know. I don't know. I don't like it, but yeah, we'll see. I think Crute's much better, but geez, Jimmy Crute, man. He opened up minus 250, currently minus 175. Erslon opened up plus 210, currently plus 150. The over-under set at 1.5. The over 1.5 minus 130. The under 1.5 at plus 110. I don't even know if I like the under.
Yeah, I think my model kind of likes the under just because a lot of Crute fights have finished inside the distance, and when they do finish, it's usually in round 1. So my model shows that Crute's fights have finished under 1.5 rounds 8 of 11 times. And like Erslon was almost knocked out by Sterling, and even Kudalaba hurt him a couple of times in rounds 1 and 2 when they fought.
Yeah. I don't like it. I don't like anything about this fight, to be honest. I mean, it took Crute like how long to submit Marcin Prachnio, who got submitted by Bukauskas. It took him too long. It took him a little bit too long for my liking. One day you're going to call Jimmy Crute consistent. He was consistent for five years straight. He didn't get a win. He did not get a win. That's very consistent. The problem is with Crute, if he doesn't get the finish in round 1, he's going to lose. Like that was touch and go last fight. OMG, shitting on the floor in the garage. I got stories. Under 1.5 plus 110. I don't love it. Crute got a poor man. Theo Von Face agreed.
Same haircut too.
Same haircut. Johnny Walker might have a worse chin than. I mean, Johnny Walker took shots against Zhang Mingyang.
Yeah, that's a big roided up Chinese dude that he was taking some shots from. So good to see Johnny. It's good to see his chin hold up for once.
Yeah. I like Crute here. Best path to victory is wrestling. If I'm betting Crute, I'm betting Crute to win in round 1. Has Crute won a fight out of round 1 outside of the Craig fight?
Yeah, outside the Craig fight, I don't think so, dude.
Because he just falls apart like a Chinese motorcycle every single time.
Yeah, all 5 of 6 wins in round 1. The other one was the 3rd round sub against Paul Craig.
Yeah, I might take a look at maybe Crute round 1, but I doubt it's going to be a good price.
Yeah.
But if Crute wants to be ahead of the game, then he gets good at subs, at pressure, at tricks. Crute by sub. Everybody's liking the under. Okay, I'm usually the under guy, but I don't know. I don't know. I mean, you guys should have been smashing the under in the Pragnio fight. The under in the Pragnio fight opened up at 2.5 at a pick'em. Why was nobody smashing it then?
Yeah, that's wild. I think it was probably because he had went to decision in those fights with one fight against Menafield, the fight against Balato.
Yeah.
So he had been to decision in a couple of fights, and like that short-term recency bias is something to be taken advantage of sometimes.
I was pissed. I had a max bet on Crute on the money line at -238, and then they open up the under at a pick'em. I'm like, do I want to add more on this fight? And I was almost like pissed that I wish I didn't bet the money line and wish I max bet the under instead, because I like the under more than especially at a pick'em. But 1.5 here. Never trust Jimmy.
Yeah.
I don't trust either one of these bums to finish each other. Australia's in Antarctica. True. Australia's in South America. Yeah, I could see it. All right, let's move. I can't believe that fight's on the main card, but yeah. I guess Jimmy Crute's a big star over there, so I guess it makes sense. So this is they got this as the co-main.
Yep.
All right, co-main event: Jack Jenkins versus Ramon Tavares. We got Jack Jenkins, 31 years old, 5'7" with a 68-inch reach. Tavares, 31 years old, 5'8" with a 70-inch reach. Same age there. Tavares with a 1-inch height advantage and a 2-inch reach advantage. We got Jack Jenkins, 3-2 in his last 5 fights. Had a decision win against Don Shameless Shanus, a decision win against Jamal Emmers, a knockout loss to Chepe Mariscal, a knockout win against Herbert Burns, and then a submission loss to Gabriel Santos. As far as Ramon Tavares, 3-2 in his last 5 fights. Had the knockout loss against Surrey City on the Contender Series, very, very early stoppage. Had a knockout win against Cortavius Are You Not Entertained Ramius by knockout. Beat Surrey City by decision, and then lost the decision to get Davey Grant his last time out. So, yeah, really good fight here. Tavares is coming up a weight class, and I like Tavares quite a bit. Very good boxing, and this guy has a ton of power for the bantamweight division. You go and watch Tavares' fights, and it's going to be hard to find a fight where he's not dropping somebody. I think the only time he didn't drop somebody was in the Davey Grant fight, and then also in the Surrey City fight where he got knocked out early. But other than that, this guy has at least over 10 knockdowns in all of his fights. He posted it on his Instagram, like his knockdown record was something ridiculous, like 10 knockdowns over the course of his career. So a ton of power. Going to be interesting to see if the power does translate up a weight class against Jack Jenkins. Co-main event, pretty good fight here, Weezy. What are your thoughts on this one?
Agreed, man. And I'm leaning to the Jenkins side. I think Jenkins is going to win this fight. I think he's the slightly better minute winner at distance striking range. Love the leg kicks. I think that he's probably got the grappling upside, but the one thing that Jenkins has really struggled with is when people take him down. When Gabriel Santos was taking him down, he was having problems with that. Dude, he probably would have lost to fucking Herbert Burns if Herbert Burns hadn't went for a dumbass leg lock in the second round. Because Burns, both times that he got on top of him, he was easily holding him down. Mariscal broke his arm with a judo throw. The Emmers fight was very close. So Jenkins is a guy that I think is very technical. I love his boxing. He works the body great. He's got great low leg kicks, and he tries to set up his big left hook on the feet in order to find that like knockout blow to the head. The thing is that Jenkins doesn't have much of a ground game. We really can't count on him to win minutes with his wrestling at this level. And Ramon Tavares has shown historically pretty good takedown defense. So while this fight is on the feet, I think Jack Jenkins' best weapons are the low leg kicks. The problem is that he needs to be in the orthodox stance to land those low leg kicks against another orthodox fighter. One of the best ways that Jenkins sets up his low leg kick is by going southpaw, throwing the body kick from the southpaw position against an orthodox fighter. Then when that left foot lands, he puts it forward into the orthodox stance, and then he lands the calf kick. But that's how he sets it up. He's not going to be able to set that up against Tavares because, first of all, the body kicks from the southpaw stance aren't going to be there against another southpaw. And if he wants to land low leg kicks, he's going to have to do it inside leg or throw with switch kicks, which isn't going to be as effective. So if I can't count on Jenkins to bust up the lead leg of Tavares, dude, in my opinion, like I do think Jenkins wins, but this line feels way off to me. If this winds up being a 3-round striking match, Ramon Tavares is going to look a lot better than plus 240. I don't care what planet this fight takes place on. Jack Jenkins isn't that much better than Ramon Tavares on the feet. So where is he going to find this? Because the problem with Jenkins is that he's not a big featherweight. So it's not a big deal that Tavares is moving up from 135 to 145. It'll be a big deal when he's fighting other big featherweights, but this isn't one of them, dude. Jack Jenkins is 5'7" with a 68-inch reach. Ramon Tavares, who's the bantamweight here, who's coming up a weight class, is actually 1 inch taller, actually has a 2-inch reach advantage. And I think it's massive that he's a southpaw, Brady. And God forbid, if this guy can get any takedowns, Tavares, Jack Jenkins is horrible off of his back when you put him on his back. So I do think that there are some paths here for Tavares. And at plus 240, I'm very tempted by his money line, because if this fight, if Jack Jenkins isn't able to win minutes or moments in the grappling exchanges here, I don't think he's going to win minutes or moments in the clinch. And I think that these guys are very well matched at distance striking range. How do you see it playing out?
Yeah, I agree with pretty much everything. It kind of feels like your typical, maybe like a value loser, right? Especially in Australia. I mean, the judges love Jack Jenkins. Remember when he lost the Emmers fight?
Yeah.
And they scored it. Like, I bet the plus 3.5 in the Jenkins in that fight, and I thought for sure he lost it, but they ended up giving him the win there. So it kind of feels like maybe like a value loser where, it is a close fight. And, Tavares does pay off his plus 240 price tag, but it's a 29-28 split decision for the hometown guy. So that's kind of, plus 240. Plus 240 is crazy.
Big number, dude. I just, the reason I'm picking Jenkins is because I just think he throws way more kicks. And that's another thing that I'm seeing here. It's like we just talked about Navajo Sterling versus Erslon, where, Sterling's the way better kicker. This is another situation. Jack Jenkins is the way better kicker. And even Crute in the last fight. Crute's got way better kicks than Erslon does. So, I think that Jenkins wins because he's got better long-range weapons than Tavares does. But if he's not landing those inside leg kicks, man, I think it's going to be very close.
Yeah, I think it's going to look a lot closer than minus 280, unless Jenkins does end up effing up his legs. But yeah, 280 for Jack Jenkins. He opened up plus 240. Tavares opened up plus 205, currently plus 240. The over-under set at 2.5 rounds. The over 2.5 minus 155. The under 2.5 is plus 135, which is kind of interesting. I kind of like the over. Kind of, but not really.
Yeah, I kind of like the over as well, because I think Tavares, he has been knocked out twice, which is kind of surprising. But one of them was that bullshit City knockout, which wasn't really a knockout. And I don't know what the other one was. Like, it was a while back. So,
yeah, I don't see Jenkins finishing Tavares unless it's like a leg kick TKO. Tavares can maybe finish Jack, I guess. I mean, Jack's been finishing all of his losses.
He sure has.
But a lot of this came from, I think it's been submitted like 3 times, though.
3 submissions, 1 knockout. Yeah.
And the 1 knockout was a injury. So
injury, yes.
Yeah, kind of don't mind the over, but I don't know. Maybe the plus 3.5 on Tavares. We'll have to see where that's at.
Yeah, that's not a bad idea, especially at plus 240 on the money line. You could probably get plus money on that.
Money. Yeah, I don't mind that.
Yeah.
This fight, no thanks. I got to go with Jenkins. What are Jenkins' holes?
Oh, the ground game is fucking awful. If he gets taken down, he's got no get-up game at all.
Yeah. Luckily, he's going against Tavares. Tavares did see him grapple in one fight. What fight was it? Who was it against? But that's the only. I think I've only seen him grapple once. Was it the? It was a former UFC fighter.
Wait, was it Felony Bennett?
I forget.
Because he beat Bennett, didn't he? He's got a win over Charles Bennett, I think. Yeah, he does.
No, it was Martin Bedoya. He submitted Martin Bedoya. Or Martin Day.
Martin Day, yeah.
Martin Day.
Okay.
Yeah, he sub Martin Day. Remember Martin Day?
I do, dude. He went like 0-5 in the UFC, I think.
Yeah, I think his last fight was when he got knocked out by Davey Grant. in the third round.
Oh, that left hook of Davy Grant,
Yeah.
man. The way he throws the right and then the left comes back, and man, when he hits you with that, it's over.
The UFC really wants Jenkins to be something, but he's been disappointing. He's probably going to lose a decision here. He could. Shit, if Tavares is left, he's going to be hard. It's going to be hard to get takedowns and on a different side. So Peruvian food is only good because they put cocoa leaves in the tea.
Okay. I don't even drink tea. The Peruvian food's delicious because of the ceviche.
Jenkins holds his bottom. I think he means like his game on bottom.
Yeah, bottom,
Yeah. All right. It is time for the main event here. Before we get into it, if you guys have not already, be sure to smash the like button. Hopefully we got 100 likes. Oh, God.
What do we got, dude?
98.
140?
98. We're almost to 100. We got to get at least 100.
Yeah.
So let's see. Still 98. I mean, very interesting. People sleeping? Like, what's going on? People have a long week. It's been a long week for some people.
I think a lot of people fell asleep during the Giants game.
Yeah, that makes sense. That Giants game. Oh, 100 likes. There we go.
Yay.
100 likes. So we're 50 away from me singing a tune. Make sure you subscribe to the channel. We go live every Sunday, 10:15 p.m. Eastern time. I do want to shout out the sponsor, and that is none other than Avery. Go check out Avery on X. Give him a follow, MMA_very. Thank you, Avery, for sponsoring the show, keeping it alive. We're skipping the Taffa fight, Junior Taffa versus
Erslon fight. No, that's not happening.
Is off. I don't know who pulled out.
I think it was Junior.
Good. So they're probably not going to find a replacement.
Exactly.
Good. 15 fight card would be rough. Let's get this milk. Let's get it. I can't wait to talk about the milking. We got some options potentially. All right, main event time. Carlos Ulberg, Dominic Reyes. We got Ulberg, 34 years old, 6'4", the 77-inch reach. Reyes, 35 years old, 6'4", the 77-inch reach. Ulberg 1 year younger, same height, same reach. Ulberg is 5-0 in his last 5 fights. Knockout win against Ihor Peteria. Submission win against Da Yung Jung. A knockout win against Alonzo Benefield. Decision win against Volkan Uzdemir. And a decision win against Jan Blachowicz. As far as Dominic Reyes, 3-2 in his last 5 fights. Knockout loss to Yuri Prochazka. Knockout loss to Ryan Spann. And he's been on a roll. Back-to-back knockout wins against Dustin Jacoby, Anthony Smith, and Nikita Krylov. Weezy, what are your thoughts on this main event?
Just feels like the line's a little bit wide right here. Because of the last 2 fights for Ulberg, where, I mean, like, I remember I had him in a parlay against Volkan, and I really honestly didn't know who was winning that fight. You know, it was close enough. I wound up in like 98, 96 in significant strikes. And then the next one after that against Blachowicz. A lot of people thought Jan Blachowicz won that. And how old is Jan? 42?
Like 50.
Dude, he's old, you know, and Jan was out there. I mean, Jan's still obviously a high-level fighter. I'm not saying that Ulberg sucks because he didn't, you know, destroy that dude, but very close fights, you know, so he's fought on very thin margins in both of his last 2 fights, and you're getting an opponent in Dominic Reyes who's, you know, on a winning streak right now. He's won 3 fights in a row. Dustin Jacoby win was very impressive, and then he got wins against Anthony Smith and Nikita Krylov, and Krylov looks like he's done for. Anthony Smith was definitely done for when he took. Was that the fight where he lost his best friend on the week of the fight, and he was literally crying on the way out to the cage?
Yeah, and Krylov shot to bits too, but the Jacoby win was pretty good.
The Jacoby win was very good, and Krylov not wrestling. It's just like, what are you doing, dude? I mean, you're standing in front. He's done it 2 fights in a row. He did it against Bogdan Guskov after the Reyes fight. So I don't know how much we can, you know, take into those recent wins from Reyes, because I don't think anybody would be surprised if he wound up getting knocked out again, you know, especially against a guy like Ulberg, who's a very technical and clean striker, and he's very hard to land damage against. You know, Carlos doesn't take a lot of damage for as much as he lands, but the distance striking defense is still only 52%. I don't love that. Because Reyes has got slightly better power numbers than Ulberg does, especially offensive power numbers. So I think that this is an interesting fight because this is a kickboxing match, Brady. There's no doubt about it. I mean, like, I don't think Reyes is going to wrestle. We've never really seen him do that. Carlos Ulberg attempts 1 takedown per 15 minutes, and he gets 0.6 takedowns per 15 minutes. So it's probably going to be a distance striking match where they're the exact same height and they are the exact same reach. Southpaw versus Orthodox, so that kind of favors Dominic Reyes, but we know that Ulberg will switch stances quite a bit. So, yeah, I think, I'm kind of surprised to see Ulberg this big of a favorite. I am. But I do think that he wins this fight. What do you think?
Yeah, I'm surprised to see him be this big of a favorite too. Just because Dominic Reyes looks like he's back.
Yeah.
Looks like he's back. But I don't know. I'm personally not entirely convinced. Like, his last 2 wins mean nothing to me. I mean, they mean nothing to me.
No.
Krylov's done. Krylov's checked out. I'm surprised we didn't see Krylov on a yacht after cashing a KO1 ticket on Gustav and what is Krylov doing? This guy is a great wrestler, a great grappler, extremely dangerous on the ground, and he's decided not to do that anymore. Is that what he's doing now? He's just not
tantamount to throwing in the fight.
Yeah.
To go out there against Bogdan Guskov and just be like, you know what, I'm not going to wrestle, even though like every fight in the UFC that I've ever been in, I've wrestled my ass off. Even against Paul Craig, who you never go to the ground with. Krylov's out there getting 3 takedowns in round 1 against Paul Craig.
He's done, dude.
And he stands in front of fucking Dominic Reyes and gets knocked out, and then doesn't learn from it and stands in front of Bogdan Guskov and gets knocked out. So yeah, man, I don't know what to think of this.
And that fight should have been sanctioned. The Anthony Smith fight.
No,
it shouldn't have happened.
No, it shouldn't have happened. Like the last 2 or 3 Anthony Smith's fights should have never happened.
So, yeah, I mean, the chin for Reyes, that is still a concern for me. And, yeah, Ulberg is a good striker. Ulberg is a very good striker. But, yeah, it does seem a little bit wide. Reyes does have a lot of power. I'll never forget when Ulberg got knocked out by Kennedy Nzechukwu after blowing his load early. And Reyes has some pop, has some big pop in his hands. Ulberg opened up minus 175. Wow. Now minus 260. And Dominic Reyes opened up plus 150, now plus 220. The over-under set at 2.5 rounds. The over 2.5 plus 130. The under 2.5 rounds is minus 150. Kind of an interesting total because I think this could end violently, but Ulberg is kind of, in a lot of his fights, is kind of like very risk adverse. Like, I'll never forget the Fabio Chiron fight, right?
Oh.
Where it's like, what are you doing, Carlos? It's Fabio Chiron to go knock him out.
But that was after he lost to the Nigerian Homer Simpson, and he was afraid of gassing out, and he coasted for 3 rounds against Fabio.
And maybe he's concerned about gassing out in a 5-round fight. Like, we could see maybe a patient Ulberg, but I kind of like the under. I liked it a lot more at plus money when it opened up at minus 105, but minus 150 now. I could see either one of these guys getting served at some point.
Yeah, I my initial lean is to go with the over, because you're getting a little bit of a break against the long-term trend. And I think if you look at how these guys are finishing fights and against who, that these guys are probably, like Ulberg's not a straight knockout artist, really. Like that 8-second knockout against Menafield was just fucking weird.
Mm-hmm.
And some of the other knockouts, you're just not really impressed because of the names that they came against. But even Daun Jung went basically 3 rounds with him, and they had to go back to the replay to find out that he tapped with 8 seconds left. So I don't mind the over here, even though if you look at the sheet there, all 5 of Dominic Reyes' last 5 fights have ended by knockout. So, obviously the trend is that his fights are finishing, but I kind of see a little bit more of an over here than I do an under.
I think it all depends on how Reyes approaches the fight. If he wants to stand at range with Ulberg and go strike for strike, it's probably going to cruise over. But if he wants to be aggressive, somebody's probably getting knocked out. So yeah, I don't know. It's a tough one. But yeah, I like Ulberg here, and Ulberg by knockout, which is going to be a horrible price. I mean, Ulberg by knockout is probably going to be what, minus 130?
Probably, because if they're already telling you that the fight has a 60% chance of ending under 2.5 rounds, so it's going to probably be like when you see the 60 there, you're probably going to pay another 20%. It's probably minus 400. Fight doesn't go to decision.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, you're going to be paying juice on an Alberg inside the distance or KO prop.
Yeah. So we'll see. We'll see. Maybe Reyes is back. I mean, this is going to tell us a lot.
Yeah, it will.
And tell us a lot. All right. So we did it. We went through all 14 fights here. It is now time for everybody's favorite segment. We got to talk about the milking, which last week the milking came through with flying colors. We took a risk. Dusko Todorovic. I mean, that was taking a risk, man. Dusko Todorovic has no chin. I mean, that was a risk, and it paid off with flying colors. Got to push on the piping. What can you do? Hopefully. And then we got to hit the parlay this week. Last week's parlay did not hit because Jared Gordon proceeded to get hit by a car. So hopefully all of our fighters stay away from vehicles. All right. So for the Stat Diggers parlay of the week, we need 2 legs. Are there any legs sticking out to you?
So are we doing Stat Diggers parlay first?
Yeah, we'll do Stat Diggers parlay.
Okay. There's a few spots that I like, and I think I might get a little bit cheeky to try to get us a little bit of plus money here. I like violence in the Nolan versus Campbell fight.
Okay.
That is minus 145 for the under 2.5 rounds.
I like that too. So why not? So the 2 money lines I'm looking at is I kind of like Sterling.
Yeah, I do too.
Sterling with that under. I mean, I kind of like that.
Yeah, Sterling at minus 220 with the under 2.5 in the Campbell Nolan fight. I was just surprised to see that at 2.5. I really thought with the Campbell Nolan fight we'd see a 1.5 over under.
I mean, it should be a 1.5. I don't know what they're doing. It should be 1.5.
Agreed. That's plus 146, man. I think that's a pretty good number for a Stat Diggers parlay this week.
Yeah, I like both spots. It's hard to see Balato winning unless he is able to get the grappling going. And the Nolan Campbell fight is going to be a dick swinging contest where both guys have power, questionable durability, and very questionable strike and defense. So I like both legs. We'll do that.
Let's do it. Beautiful. That's a great start.
All right. Now it is time for we'll start with the piping. We'll start with the piping here. So somebody's getting piped in the Brando Ellison fight. We know that in the first fight of the night, the under is minus 220. So Brando Perich could be a potential piping. Bedoya might be able to pipe Mullarkey. Mullarkey's been known to get piped time and time again. Musasa potentially pipe Colby. We got a lot of options here. Let's see. Oh, Sterling could potentially pipe up Rodolfo Balato. We're not talking the Sutherland fight. Somebody's getting piped in the Nolan Campbell fight, but I don't know who. Okay, so we'll do this. So for the piping of the week, we'll go with Perich or what's his face? Sterling. I think either one of those are good options.
Agreed, man. And I kind of feel like, dude, this guy Perisic, like evidently nobody wants to kickbox this guy in Australia. Like he couldn't find kickboxing matches, so that's why he switched to MMA. So I think he's going to have a pretty big advantage there. And if that's the case, over the much shorter Snack Panther Elijah Ellison, I think that's a pretty good piping. Brando Perisic.
Snack Panther, you said?
Brando Perisic is not the Snack Panther. That's Elijah Ellison.
I was writing his nickname, Elijah's nickname.
Yeah.
Ellison on site. First fight of the card. Should be a violent one. It's a Contender Series fight, and the Contender Series has been very violent, so should get a finish, and we're hoping that finish comes with Brando Perich to pipe Elijah Snack Panther Ellison on site.
Let's go.
There you have it. All right, so we got the piping. Now it is time to find the milking here. So for the milking, we have Michelle Montigu, potential milking. Alexa Thionaro, I don't really think that's a milking. I think it's primarily going to be striking. So Montigu, Can Matthews maybe milk? No, Magny's the one that milks people. I don't know. I all I'm really seeing is Montigu, man.
Dude, if Matthews takes down Magny, he's subbing him, dude.
Yeah, but I agree. But would it be a milking though?
Yeah, probably not, right?
It would be like it would be a subbing.
Yeah.
But we need a milking. I don't know. There's not many options.
Well, I mean, like, I'm thinking just, like when you brought up the stat that Luana Karolina has been taken down in each of her last how many fights?
7 fights.
Jesus, dude. Because, I mean, every time I see Montigu getting to somebody's back, the fight is over.
It's over.
So.
Yeah, I guess it's between Montigu and Matthews. But Matthews, I don't know if that would be like a milking. Maybe.
Yeah.
But
it could be. I mean, if Jake actually wrestles but like he just, whenever it seems like he has a grappling advantage, it doesn't seem like he grapples.
Right.
Which is frustrating,
Right. Yeah, it's a tough one because I don't know if I completely trust Montigu.
Yeah, I mean, UFC debut, but at least she's training with Kayla Harrison. At least she's from New Zealand originally, so she's in her part of the world. And she's fighting somebody that's coming up from 125 to 135 for the first time at the UFC level, while Montigu's been fighting at 145 in PFL and Bellator. So I think that, you got one moving up, you got Montigu moving down. You kind of got a little bit of a hole in that ground game for Luana Karolina. And it's not like Luana's going to just absolutely beat the piss out of you at distant striking range. If you can't get that immediate takedown, she's gonna end you. So yeah, maybe Montigu's a good milking this week.
I like it. We don't have many options, so we'll have to go with with what we got, and it's Michelle Montigu.
Yeah, and it could be Petroski too, because if Petroski gets taken.
Oh yeah,
he's got really good top control, and it's just he's a frustrating guy to watch. But when he gets on top, man, he wins minutes.
Was he training with the Lady Boys this camp though? Because he was training with the Lady Boys for the prayer fight and got knocked out.
Yeah, that didn't work well for him. So we'll see what he's doing this time. I don't know if he's. You know what? As a matter of fact, no, that was somebody else he was talking about. Dean Thomas was talking about that he's going to be working with Joe Pyfer, but not with Petroski.
Okay.
Pyfer's got a fight coming up against Abu Smagomedov, and I heard that Dean Thomas is going to be working with him for that fight.
Nice. That's a good fight.
Yeah.
Michelle Montigu to milk Luana Karolina this Saturday. So we got the milking, Michelle Montigu, the newcomer. We 2 newcomers.
Yeah.
Big honors. Big honors here. Got the parlay. All right, let's go 3 for 3. So we did it. We went through all 14 fights, the piping, the milking, the parlay. Last that's left is letting the people know where they can find you.
On X at MMA Wheezy, on YouTube at Uncle Wheezy. And you can find me on Odds Shopper for my probability stats and content package where you find these stats, individual fighter stats, matchup stats like you're seeing there on the page. You get the over-under betting model. You get the prop betting model. You get my fight write-ups. You get access to my Discord, access to my track bets, access to all of my subscriber-only content, which includes a 2-hour full card breakdown show called Balls Deep Breakdowns and a 2-hour prop betting show called Probability. I'm looking to stack cash tickets like flapjacks for UFC Perth and go on this 9-week stretch here, Brady. This is where we make our years. This is where we make our years, right here at the end of this year. And then we're going to take a little time off at the end of the year and recharge and get ready for 2026. And it starts with UFC Perth on Saturday.
Yep, I'm looking forward to it. This last month and a half, I've been seeing the board pretty well. Reads have been pretty good, so hopefully that can keep up for this. I'm probably not going to have too much action on this card. I have a ton of action next week. I mean, next week's going to be incredible. 320. And Goliath Pereira too. A ton of spots are sticking out already there. But this week, I'm going to kind of do what I've been doing, picking my spots, not doing anything stupid, like not betting on Taffa Sutherland, just picking your spots, being smart about it. That's kind of what I'm going to keep doing here. Maybe some spots will stick out throughout the week, but be on the lookout for my Dana White's Contender Series breakdown and prediction video. That'll be out tomorrow evening. I still have to tape 2 more of those fights. And my prediction video for Perth should be out like Tuesday as well. And I'll also be doing a live fight companion for Contender Series on Tuesday as well. Didn't do it last week, but I'll be doing it this week there. So yeah, if you guys could do us a favor, like on your way out, subscribe, and best of luck for UFC Perth. Good night, everybody.